I've had a lot of amazing moments in deer hunting where, like, I've been so incredibly rattled that, like, I don't do drugs because of this. Because they can't be better than this. And if they are, I can't handle that. like that's True where story. I'm at. Like, I can't, like, this is almost too much for me. And, like, I mean, in the moment when it comes time to execute the shot, like, I can settle down. I can make it happen. But, like, the after, if it gets better than that, I don't even want it.
Welcome to the Just Hunt Podcast.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the Just Hunt Podcast. This is number 15. It is turkey season, and we have Ross. Do we have a nickname for him?
The Scarecrow.
Well, yeah, there's a couple of like that. But Mr. Ross Roberge in house. He made the short drive over. He was, like, definitely on time, so it's all good.
I was 3 minutes late, and Brett's pissed.
You were actually 33 minutes. Just because you say I'm going to be late doesn't mean that's your new time or rifle.
Here's the deal. Hold on. Let's look at Matt. And
I'm looking at him. He
I
probably
texted
imagines things.
I texted Matt on Tuesday. Oh, that's February.
We talked on the phone.
On Tuesday.
There's no paper trail.
February 4th.
You ain't got receipts, brother.
And said may need to do 8:30. He said okay.
On February 4th?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it is May.
But the conversation originated on the phone.
A conversation from February.
I thought I had you dead to rights right there.
It was essentially the same conversation today.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be late. All right.
Well, it's not late.
Well, I mean, he says it right there in this thing.
Matt said to me, listen, Matt said to me.
What's the number one rule?
Stop digging holes. All right. First rule of holes, stop digging. All right. I was late by like half an hour. I have 3 kids, and I'm sorry. I don't know what else to tell you.
Hey, you're the one that took exception with my comment. I was just,
Yeah, first rule of holes, talking. It's fine.
Yeah, so here we are. What do you have to say?
I like your bench of wood.
Yeah. Chris got this, and he told me it was a beautiful piece. And it is a nice piece, but it's got some
it's pretty
we'll
junky.
say it's got some imperfections.
It's pretty junky.
I think we actually had to put some wood glue or epoxy. Can you see that? Is there something there?
Oh, I can see it right here. You had to wood glue.
Yeah, it was
like the heartwood is coming in there.
Yeah. So and then Chris is supposed to epoxy this and fill everything in, but that never happened. And he kind of sanded it.
Oh.
So we'll get on him for
that is not sanded. Ow! I got a splinter.
Sioux Peak Builders.
Did you actually get a splinter?
No, just my hands are garbage.
Okay.
So.
No, it works fine though. Thanks to Chris for he did put these on, and these have held up.
So far,
so good.
Yep, screws work.
So
we're gonna.
What have you been up to?
Hold on, I want to start this off.
Okay, go ahead.
Brett is in a bad mood tonight.
No, I'm not in a bad
mood. You're in a bad mood.
Where's your drink?
I put it over there. Out of camera.
He's the one that needs a drink. I'm fine.
I was fine until I got around Brett.
Well, God forbid someone holds him accountable for his tardiness.
Yep. Yeah. First time, long time. Let's talk about Brett's arrival time to the mountain. Yeah, I'm going to be there at 4:30.
4:30?
4:50.
What are we talking
Brett rolls in. Every time.
Yeah, but
you're like 15, 20 minutes behind.
But I'm not. You're not filming me, and I'm not filming you, and we're just like. What's the ballpark?
You're late.
Not really.
No, you are.
No, because.
Well, then I'm not really late. If we're going to use that as the benchmark.
No, see, I disagree.
Matt, on the phone, did I tell you 8:30?
That's a loose. He said between 8 and 8:30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was 8:33.
What was the original time?
He said around 8.
Yes.
And I said probably going to have to be 8:30.
When did you say that, though?
On the phone with him.
When?
You didn't say that on the phone. You said that when you texted me today.
No.
At like 7 o'clock.
No.
I was in the car on the way here.
Matt?
Do you have receipts?
Yes.
Matt,
There's a text of that.
You're about to get banished.
All right.
We're going to tell you your house is burning down again.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Ross is here. That was at 8:42 is when I got the text.
Yeah,
so you might have been
because
later
he was
than
on
that.
the phone with Chris and said, "Oh shoot, I forgot to tell Brett." And I said, "Don't worry." Colton looked out the window and saw me at 8:33.
So Matt owns 9 minutes of that, and you own 33 minutes of it.
It's fine.
All right. So anyway, what have you been up to? Working like crazy?
Just work.
Have you? So how many? You've been taking Mick turkey hunting? Well,
Yep.
I don't know. Have you?
Yeah, we went opening day. Well, we went with you guys.
Right, you went with us.
We went opening morning.
Yep.
Was that youth day you went together? Or was that
Sunday
youth
of
weekend. Or
Sunday.
Sunday of youth weekend.
Yep.
Right. We went with Brett and Colton and Dallas. And Colton smoked one. And then we went opening day. We had one on the roost. We were close.
Good.
But the hens were roosted on
There's
the
something
opposite
on
ridge.
here.
What is it?
Debris.
It's probably a piece of this junk table.
Could be.
But the hens were roosted on the opposite ridge, and he just pitched off and went right to him. And then we went again Sunday morning.
This past Sunday?
Yeah, we went like right after the rain broke.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, Mick came flying down the stairs and was like,
What time was this at?
8 o'clock.
Gotcha.
Like I'd been awake since 4, but
Naturally.
I mean that's my natural wake up time. But he's like, "You want to go turkey hunting?" I was like, "Is it raining?" He's like, "No." I was like, "Yeah, let's go." And we struck a gobbler at the same place Colton killed.
Did you?
Yep. But unfortunately, he wound up getting drug away by his hens. His hens got mouthy as soon as he started gobbling to us. And
I think that bird that we killed was a satellite, a subordinate. So
for certain. I think
those ones are easy to peel off because
we can kill that bird that's there, though.
What, just get in under them?
No, I think we got to get on that opposite ridge, close to that sugar shack, because that's where it's on the downhill side from where we were.
Oh, downhill.
Yeah,
from where the bird came from,
so
or
to
behind
the right,
us?
to the right.
Oh,
right over the brook.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if we sat up against that sugar shack and had a strutter.
I didn't even know there's a sugar shack there.
Yeah, it's an old rundown one.
I gotcha.
That the landowners let go. So he's dead as soon as we get the moment to do that. But it hasn't stopped raining.
Is it just one in there?
There's one roosted. Like we sat maybe 2 trees back from where we did when Colton killed, and he's maybe 30, 40 yards from there.
Oh.
Is where he roosts.
Okay, that makes sense.
He's close.
Big pines.
I can show you on HuntStand.
So have you been seeing many birds around?
No.
Yeah, me either.
No.
How about you?
I have. Well, I also haven't been home for 3 weeks.
That's true.
So you used to.
Saw a bird strutting out on a lawn near my house the other day, and when it was raining, went down a power line. I got like 150 was the closest I could get because of the setback, and he just sat there and gobbled until noon, and was still out there strutting when I drove back home.
Was there a bird feeder?
I don't.
Highly likely.
Probably
somewhere.
Probably.
Even if you can't see it from the road, it's
probably.
there.
There's like a couple little knobs.
Yeah.
One of them is behind my house. The other one's a little bit away. There's usually birds that mill around within like a few hundred yards of there. But there was a few flocks that I had seen out. Again, it was just like 3 weeks ago. But lately, the last couple of days driving around, I've been looking hard and I haven't seen much.
Seen like anything.
No.
I looked.
Weather hasn't been great, and it's going to continue to not be great.
It isn't great, but if it's raining, it's usually out in the open. And I drove through all of New Hampshire and Vermont at first light, the first couple hours, the couple days before opening day. And I think I saw one strutter in Vermont. That's it, the whole time. He had a couple hens. Coming back, was morning. Like I drove back through all morning, and I didn't see a turkey. And then I drove most of, southern New Hampshire, Sunday. So I don't know how many, 3 days ago. I saw 2 jakes. That was in like 2.5 hours of driving. And then today I did like a loop, not looking for turkeys, but I was around. I didn't see a bird. Maybe I saw a hen. I don't know. I'm not sure if they're, we had a really good mass crop last year, and I'm not sure if they're all in the woods. I think that's probably something to do with it. But we used to have mass crops in the past and see plenty of turkeys.
On opening morning, when we sat where we did, we were surrounded.
There was a bunch in there?
A whole pile of them.
Oh, no shit. That's good.
It was gobbling like crazy.
Huh.
I probably heard at least 8 or 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
In that
but
area. Yeah.
To your point, driving around in the rain when they're normally in the field.
Yeah.
Because we drove around later that morning when it started to rain on the 1st, and we saw 2 toms at the Twin Towers, and that was it.
Yeah.
I did get on a bird. I wasn't going to go out this morning because I thought it was going to be bad weather, and then I woke up and the sun was out at 7, so I was like, well, I missed. I had stuff I had to take care of, so then I went to the feed store and came back, and there's an old farm. They've got a bunch of little fields, and there was a lone bird out in the middle of one of their fields, so I went and knocked on the door real quick and got permission and made a move for like the last 45 minutes and tried to pull him to the next field over, but never came, and he was gone. So
I think the bird numbers are down. I think there are definitely some in the woods, but like I was saying before, we've had really good mass crop years in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Like more often than not, we have a good mass crop year, and there's acorns in the spring, and you still see them. Well, we used to see them, and I'm not really sure. I don't know. I don't know what the reason is. I mean,
we had some deep snow.
Not that bad though. I mean, not anything that's gonna. I don't think
we
it was that
were
bad.
still below average.
Yeah.
As far as snow accumulation.
Yeah.
I mean, we
and
touched.
It was gone pretty quick.
It was
pretty
quick.
early, I should say.
We touched 50 inches here, and our average is like 60.
Yeah.
Yeah, so nothing crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I'm wondering if there's definitely more pressure than there has been, I would say, in general. I'm wondering if the two birds is slowly kind of chipping away and knocking that population. That's still pretty good, I would admit. It's tough for me because I've been out like 2 days.
Yeah,
realistically.
Well, I mean, I'm still seeing plenty of turkeys in office parks.
Well, okay, so you're right. But, like, it seems to me like that's where a lot of them are. Like, they used to always be in office parks, but they'd be in people's yards, and then they'd be in every, dairy farm and every hay farm, and then they'd be in every oak ridge, and then, everything. There just used to be everywhere. It seems like they're a lot more pocketed where they are now. And I think, unfortunately, it seems like more and more they just keep getting concentrated in these areas that are really tight to houses and office parks. And that's great if, like, you live there, you have permission, or, like, the people, but it gets really kind of
I don't enjoy
kind of weird.
I don't enjoy hunting like that at all.
No, I don't anymore.
Like, I don't even.
I'd never really done it. It's kind of what you can get away from it where I live, but again, that's kind of where I've found turkeys. Has been close to that stuff.
That's my point. Is I don't think it doesn't feel like there's as many birds back in, and maybe it's because the population was so high that those birds were like displaced, and and they're in these other places because of the prime habitat, which is honestly like close to houses and roads. It was occupied by other turkeys, so they were kind of pushed off and occupying more areas. And maybe because there's less birds in the landscape, they don't need to be in those areas anymore. I don't know what it is, but I know that I'm getting sick of, particularly, and I haven't done it much this year, but like sitting, the min legal distance from a residence and calling a turkey off a feeder. I'm just like, I'm good. Like I
don't want any part of that.
No, it's just
That's
not
why
it.
We deer hunt where we do.
Yeah. Yeah, and the turkey thing is, and I wish there was more turkeys where we deer hunt, but there really isn't that many.
No.
How long have because they just do the 2 birds for the southern portion.
Yeah.
How long has that been going
I can
on?
look because I remember.
I think 3 years.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
been longer.
Really?
Yeah, it's been longer. I can tell you.
I
'cause
haven't
I remember
turkey
when
hunted in. The last time I killed a turkey was 15 years ago. So
Was it
Was
really?
it really?
yeah, I haven't turkey hunted until this year. I mean, I turkey hunted
You
quick.
did some turkey missing.
I turkey missed one time last year, and since then
So
haven't even done it. So
2019 was the first year, so it's been 6. This is the sixth spring. So 6 years of
Yeah. That was,
Two
two birds. And honestly, I think there's a fair amount of people that kill 2. I don't know what actually we should. I haven't seen a statistic on that. I wonder how many people do kill 2 birds, because they have the information for the deer, like how many
Right.
people actually kill 2 bucks, and it's not
Yeah.
that many. But I bet you a far higher
it
percentage.
dramatically decreases.
But yeah, but I'm sure it
I bet
decreases,
you.
But
I bet you with the turkeys though, it's dramatically higher than the deer. Wow, I can hear that crystal
nice and
clear.
loud. I know, but he can cut that so they don't hear it, but you do.
No, leave that in.
The gurgle.
Yeah.
So I would say
Hydrate.
it's what percentage do you think it is? I'd say it's 25, probably 25%.
I bet you it's higher. I bet you it's closer to like 35, 40.
Could be. I wouldn't be surprised if it was up there. I'm just thinking. I feel like
I
you
mean,
have a
with-
tendency to like overestimate that, because for the deer stuff, I'd be like, oh, a bunch of people. It's like
No.
5% of people kill 2
Yeah,
deer in
no.
the state.
I
yeah, probably.
but I think with the turkeys and the online registering,
The other thing,
I think
that's
it's
true.
a lot higher.
That's true. The other thing we got to remember is you can't kill 2 well, I guess it's north of the lakes,
I
right?
Don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think
know.
it's.
I don't know the
think-
letters,
I
but
think-
yeah, it's roughly there.
Basically, you have to be in the southern third, I believe, or the southern half of the state to kill 2 birds. So there's not as many people. Well, a good way to look at it is I remember that we used to kill like 4,000 birds. I think maybe 4,500 birds in the spring when we had 1 tag. And I know we had like a lower harvest number than like Vermont and Vermont's a good representation because it's very similar sized, similar-ish habitat. And I think Vermont would kill like 5,000 to 6,000 maybe. And then I know that we're like kind of on par with Vermont now that we have the second bird. So if you think about that, that's another.
Does Vermont have the second bird?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep. So I don't know. You always wonder if it's that or it's more people are. I'll say. I don't want to get into this necessarily, but it's illegal now. But reaping was, a thing for
Really
and
good
it became
course of action.
and it became popular. Probably 5 years ago,
Yep.
I'd say. And I feel like that killed a lot of turkeys.
Do you think that many people did it though?
Yes. I think in the last few years, yeah. Yeah. I know some people, that's all they did. They just would reap turkeys and kill them, and it was like, Jesus. I've done it, but I just think it's like so effective. It's almost like, there's some turkeys that like there's no way to kill them, like they're impossible to
Right.
kill by like because of whatever, like where they hang out, like they're always with like 10 hens. They fly down in the middle of the field or in a business park or wherever, or too close to a house where they hang out and you can't hunt them. But you just show that thing a fan from a few hundred yards away and yelp at him and he's dead. Like he's
Right.
coming and that's it.
On a rope.
So, there's that. So regardless of where you stand on it, I guess what I'm saying is I think people have become way more effective at killing them.
Yeah.
Especially with TSS and guns and, TSS essentially. TSS, there's so many red dots now that are super accurate. These people used to shoot beads and miss. And
Right. Beads
we're
with
super
lead.
lethal with them now. Yeah. So I think that could be a reason too. We're killing more of them. You can kill 2.
Mick wants to know why we can't use rifles.
Really?
Yeah. I was
bring him to Virginia and let him.
yeah, that's what
I
was telling him. I was like, some places you can, but not around here. But it's not safe. I think that's what it comes down to.
Imagine turkey hunting around here with rifles.
My 6.5
lot of them.
PRC would eat.
God.
That'd be
Oh, it would. Someone who would 100%. That would be so bad. Because all the turkeys are right next to the road and houses, and there's so many people on it, it'd be.
Every decoy would have a hole in it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
At least one.
That would get ugly. New Hampshire would make some silly rule like you have to be within 100 yards to, shoot him with a rifle. No shooting over 100 yards. Some silly, unenforceable law.
Yeah, but like, I was within 100. Well, I found your rifle cartridge back here, sir.
Yeah, in the feather pile. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. There could be other stuff too. I don't think it's like. I don't see any like. Well, I would say the bobcat population is probably higher than I've seen it since I've been paying attention.
It's dramatically increased.
Yeah, I would say
like
so.
from the trail camera pictures we have, and like just in-person sightings that I've had, like driving to work or driving to the mountain when we go to hunt.
I saw. I've seen a couple.
I've seen
close to houses too.
I've seen a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot out there.
Cats.
There's more than there used to be, no doubt. So that doesn't help.
No.
I don't know that like the nest predator stuff is much higher. I don't really see many more raccoons or possums or really coyotes or foxes. Like it's pretty like steady, I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say probably bobcats don't help. Although I don't know, they definitely kill turkeys 100%. I don't know how many they kill and when they kill them. But that probably doesn't help. TSS and fans, but the fans are gone now. But I think that we're seeing probably a result of, like I said, 5 or 6 years of two birds.
The other part of it too, you got to figure is like these past 2 springs have been real wet.
Yeah.
Real wet.
Yeah.
Like especially, like obviously this spring doesn't affect this year.
No. Yeah.
Like this year's hunting population, but like last year was real wet.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
And same with the year prior.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
No.
And the other thing is, and I think we're probably to blame for it too, or at least partially to blame, is I just think there's a lot of people coming to the Northeast to kill turkeys. Because
we had a pile of them.
Yeah, secrets. And maybe people are going to come like, I guess it's not as good as it used to be.
It's not all it's cracked up to be. This ain't
Although
the Iowa deer hunting.
Yeah, I think it's still probably pretty good up here. In general, but and it's pocketed. There's still. I'm talking to some people that are seeing a bunch of birds in different areas, but I would say in general, it's definitely down. It's lower than it was 5 years ago. I'd say it's probably at least 30% lower. I would say there's maybe 50%, maybe. I would say it's probably. I would say no. I think,
feel like you're pushing it.
I don't think so. Maybe. But I would say, I remember when it was one bird, I would have, and of course I scouted more. I spent more time, right? But I know I'd have like.
Oh, you did?
5 or 10 spots within a 10-minute drive that there was like, multiple longbeards. And I remember opening day, I was like, I don't know where to go. I have like 5 like slam dunk air, like I can roll in. There's like 5, you know what I mean? I don't really have that anymore. Like places where I used to see like 3 to 5 birds, there's like 1 or 2, like toms. Like so, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I think that the good thing in my mind is I think
they're dumb dinosaurs, and
they are dinos. They are dumb.
Yeah,
they're dumb, but they're
just
their
dumb.
instincts are
they're really dumb.
Their instincts help them survive. They have good instincts.
I guess.
Yeah. Well, except for when a fan is out,
right?
or a tom decoy. Then they get bad.
We've
instincts.
all been there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'll have to.
Yeah,
it
would be good to look at those numbers. Should have had you pull it up, Matt. Let's see, 2000.
Why don't you have a laptop and like a big screen behind me that we can like?
We could
pull stuff.
Sure.
You guys are
2018
amateurs.
New Hampshire.
What do you want to look at? The
turkey
estimated population?
No, the harvest in 18 and then the harvest like last year.
You guys are getting live time.
So 18 we killed 4,200 turkeys in 18. We'll go
with one tag.
with one tag, and then we'll go to 23 because I think last year was actually a lower year. 55.8. So what is that?
That's an extra 1,000.
But on 4,000, that's a lot. It's 25 or 30% probably. 42 to, what did I say, 55? 42. Yeah.
Yeah.
24% increase in harvest.
Right.
Which is, what did I say? 25%
guys,
killed their second bird. So there you go. It's spot on.
I don't know if you guys know this, but Brett won't let things go.
I'm just
when I was late by 3 minutes.
Hey, you brought it up again, didn't you?
He's finally lightened up, guys. We're going to have a good episode.
Last year was 4,500 again.
Last year was I feel like it was way down though. Like I think the population that last year was like, whoa. This year is the same. But I remember that's why I looked at 23 because I remember 23 was there was.
I'm over here nodding.
Birds. Yeah.
Slammer year.
Yeah,
like I have an idea.
So what year did you hunt? It was like 23, 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, it wasn't last year. It was the year.
We
prior.
did go out a couple mornings.
Twice.
Oh, it was
I
just
turkey hunted twice.
Once in Mass and one in New Hampshire.
Once in Mass, once in New Hampshire.
So you didn't turkey hunt at all?
I turkey hunted in college and like my senior year of college, and that was it.
Yeah.
You said that was 15 years ago? How old are you?
You turkey hunted with me.
Oh, brother.
You shot at least one.
It was the spring I graduated
college.
Was it?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Is that really the last time? I feel like you've been since then.
No, I got a Facebook memory the other day and was like, oh, I guess I'm that old.
So is that one? Is that the last bird you killed? That one in New Hampshire? Spring? No shit.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it's been that long.
Yeah, I mean, I've been, in the green industry and too busy in the springtime.
Yeah, the spring's tough for you. Always has been.
Yeah. Did you deer hunt a lot when you were younger too?
I did not deer hunt at all.
You were just doing more of the fishing thing?
I just waterfowl hunted.
Okay.
Like I started hunting when I was 14.
Yeah.
I think. Maybe a little bit younger than that with my father. Because I remember like I didn't have to buy a license for 2 years, so I had to hunt with my dad.
Yeah.
And the only reason he hunted was because I showed interest in it. And then, your normal childhood antics before that, like I'm hunting. Like I had no idea what I was doing, but like I'd sit at the base of a tree
shooting chickadees
with my bow and arrow, just 8 or 10 feet. I mean, probably as far away from that camera as I am right now. With like that was a rub. Like he's coming back. Like I saw a thing about rub lines on Realtree Outdoors. Like my uncle used to record the hunting shows on cable TV and give me the VHS tapes. And I used to watch. You don't even know what a VHS is. Never mind, Matt.
I'm old enough to know.
I don't know about that, but
we had
huh?
Yeah, my parents had a VHS thing in the center console of their car.
Nice,
when I was growing up.
Dude. You were bougie.
In my mom's minivan. Yeah.
You were bougie. Dang. I guess I didn't get to live the life of luxury that Matt did, but I didn't get to watch my hunting shows then. But like I darn near wore them out. Like I always had an interest in hunting. And then I went deer hunting with my father. And truthfully, I didn't have a whole bunch of interest in deer hunting because, ADHD, deer hunting, they're not like a great mix. And like, especially when you're unmedicated, like there was no chance. Like I remember I sat, like first time I saw a deer in the woods, I thought it was the coolest thing. I was shaking like a leaf and like I got bit. Like I had the bug, but that's when I got bit. Like that was bad for my brain. But when my father shot his first deer, it was opening day of rifle season, and that was one of the coolest things. Like I couldn't believe we were in the woods for 10 minutes, and a year and a half old came walking down the logging road that we were walking in, and he was like perpendicular to us, and he smoked it and dropped it right in his tracks, like DRT, like slammed the ground. And I just couldn't believe it. And my father the whole time evidently was looking over at me, hoping that I was going to pull my gun up. I was froze. Like, oh yeah, I was like I was locked up, eyes like saucer plates. Like it was bad. And I actually remember him looking at me going, "Are you going to shoot?" And I was like, I couldn't even talk. And so he shot that, and that was super cool. But then, ADHD, like, reconsumed me, and I wound up going goose hunting with one of my father's friends who was into it. I didn't see a goose. We heard one goose, and I was hooked. So I waterfowl hunted from 16 till, I don't know, senior year of college, so 21, I think I was 21, 22. I went on 2 deer hunts in college, one of which was opening day of rifle season because one of my buddies got a doe tag for the area in New York that I went to school in. And I was honestly hooked right there. Like, that was cool, sitting there opening morning, like, in the dark, waiting for the sun to come up in a 12-foot ladder stand and with no harness on, which not proud of, but like that's what he did. And that was super cool. I wore out the batteries on the rangefinder that he gave me. Like it was, all right, I think that
checks
is, I think that is, I think that like it was,
He's like, how fast can I hit these?
Yeah. Did I remember all the numbers? Yeah. And I was just, you got to occupy yourself somehow.
So true.
And we didn't have smartphones back then. Well, I think we did. We had smartphones, but it was like first generation Apple iPhone, but I had a flip phone. So I'm like sitting there like.
I don't think there was
no stimulation,
iPhones.
So other than nature.
You know what was big back then was the Blackberries.
Yes.
Yeah, Blackberries.
Yeah. Those were pretty slick.
I had a Motorola in college, I just remembered.
One of those.
It flipped. It was like tap to talk or whatever those things were.
Yeah,
those were weird.
Those were slick.
Yeah, I had one of those.
Those are slick. It's like a radio except a cell phone.
It was like big and, it was like, looked like it belonged on a job site.
Oh, yeah. Hold on.
Yeah, like
rubberized
stuff on the
I
outside.
need to go to the grocery store. Over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
those
how it
were
was.
those were pretty slick. But my second deer hunt was a deer drive. I shot a button buck. Pretty cool.
Not your last button.
Not your
buck.
last.
No.
Nope.
One of two.
That one's mounted.
One of two. The second one is mounted. The first one was supposed to be mounted, but John O'Connor, if you're watching, I'm still waiting for that Euro, dude. It might still be up on School Hill Road. I don't know. But that was like, I didn't get a whole lot of enjoyment from that. Like it just, yeah. I mean, one ran out. I yelled at it, thought it was going to stop, and it didn't. And then the duck hunter in me took over. So I just shot at the second one running, like full sprint, and I gut shot him, and had to do a follow-up shot. Yeah. I didn't enjoy that. I mean, I enjoyed like the hanging out with the buddies sort of deal, and like obviously the hunting end of it, but like just it, I don't know, it didn't sink in with me. And then when I got home, we turkey hunted that one year, and then that following fall, I went out deer hunting with you. You're like, hey, do you want to film? That was...
I remember that one. Is that the super high tree stand in the dark?
Yep.
And then the guy walked by us in blue jeans with a duffel bag.
Yep.
Forgot about that.
That was...
With a duffel bag?
Oh, yeah, dude.
Oh,
carrying drugs.
Brother. He walked by with his like rifle in one hand and like I don't know, the army folks or military folks are going to correct me, but like some ridiculous military duffel bag over his shoulder, and at like
a rucksack.
No, it was like a duffel, Like one of those like Army surplus duffel bags.
I think he had an RPG in there.
He might have.
Or he was really into scent control.
I don't think he was with his blue jeans. And probably his like dad New Balances
too, wasn't it?
No.
Oh, it wasn't?
No, it wasn't because I had a rifle. Because that was the only way you were going to get my ass in the woods.
Okay, yeah.
Is if I had the opportunity to shoot something. You're like, if it's any deer except for this deer, you can shoot it. I'm like, I'm in.
I've said that to other people before too.
Yep. Yeah, I'm just dumb enough to fall for it. So like that morning was like, I remember white knuckling up into that tree.
Yep.
Your eyes leaking?
That. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Your
allergies?
Yeah.
Oh, God. The pollen on my truck was gross this morning.
Yeah, you should look at the pollen.
Yeah.
It's all the pollen. That's another story for a different night. But that was like, I was pretty hooked in that moment. And I don't know if it was just me maturing as a hunter. Like, I don't know what it was, or maybe my brain slowed down. Maybe I started being medicated at that point. I'm not sure. But like, truthfully, like that for me that morning was like, okay, this is cool. And and plus, like where I went to college in New York, like we had a ton of ducks and geese.
Right.
So like I was in it. And like we wouldn't hunt a field of geese without 500 in it. 500 to 1,000. Like we'd just be like, all right, we'll just find something better than that, or we're not going to hunt, sort of deal. So coming home, it was like, oh, we don't have fields.
Yeah. And we can shoot 2 geese.
We can shoot 2 geese, and if I want to shoot a duck, I got to go to a river, and I got to hope stuff freezes up and pushes into the rivers. Like, and even on the rivers, like we're not seeing the numbers of ducks we did in college. So I like. Yeah. My interest in that petered off.
Especially after you had you killed how many freaking ducks that? A zillion.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
Nate, Andy, and I killed like 340 geese that fall. It was north of 300. I don't know exactly how many, and over 100 ducks.
To go to shooting 2 ducks going through or 2 geese.
Or maybe even shooting a duck every time I go out, like, or seeing 10. Like we'd see hundreds in a morning. Like it was nothing.
Were your ears shot after that fall?
They're not great still.
Yeah. It's a lot of shooting to do.
Yeah. I mean,
where's that thing?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. What thing?
Hearing protection things.
Like the in-ear ones?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know if I got those.
Yeah. Either way, I mean, I definitely could have been smarter about that. But
I could have been too. I'm fucking deaf.
I say to Caitlin all the time, my wife, Caitlin, thank you for letting me do this, by the way. Don't hit me when I get home, please. I have like the ringing. Like I get like tinnitus, pops up. I'll just be like sitting there, like in bed or whatever, and we'll be talking, and all of a sudden it'll just be like,
oh geez, I don't have that. I didn't
for a long time.
Waterfowl hunt for.
All right, like let's just get this over with. Like, wait for it to end.
Yeah, I've got some friends who are in the military who deal with that pretty heavily. One of them.
Mine's not as bad as those fellas. I assure you.
Some people, it's like all the time, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a constant ringing, but like mine like comes and goes, and it's not like super frequent, but like I definitely wish that I was smarter then, and I'm definitely making sure now that like even with my kids, like now that Mick and Tenley are able to shoot, I'm like, even though we're shooting 22 quiets, like the subsonics, like you're pro. Yeah. I don't care. Like I want this to be like a muscle memory thing for you. Like you're shooting a gun, you're pro.
Yeah.
End of story.
My grandfather and my great-grandfather both hunted their whole lives, both pretty deaf. Like my great-grandfather, he, with his hearing aids like cranked, he'd be like, huh? You know,
but is that by choice because he's listening to you talk, or?
Oh no, it was more with his wife, but but no, he grew up on a farm, so it was because of that too. But I just I don't want to get like that. I'm afraid of it. So
I guess I don't even know what you think. So you said didn't enjoy the first deer he killed as much in the drive. What do you think of drives now?
I don't really know, I guess. Like
You've done them. I've done them with you since then.
I'm split.
Okay.
Only because like when the time of year that it comes to like doing drives, right?
Yeah.
Like we're not doing it in a place that we kill big deer.
No.
Like we're doing
Or if we are, we're not.
Right.
They're not on the list.
Or in the like they're not in the area.
We have done one drive.
Yeah, well, yeah. So there was a thing
Eric.
one time. There was shenanigans, and like there was
that
a
was
guy.
pretty much a drive, but yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I enjoy the camaraderie of that, and I'm not like normally like a social dude, but like getting a bunch of like-minded dudes together and doing drives, like
Yeah. So it's more dependent on who you're with than.
I won't do it with people I don't like or trust. Because it's an incredibly dangerous situation.
Yeah, it can be.
Yeah. I've walked away from situations like that. Like simply unchambered my gun and walked out to the road because I was like, I want no part of this. This doesn't feel right. I'm out. That's like a huge thing with deer drives for me is like safety. I mean, just guns in general. Guns, any sort of weapon is like. There are too many people that are fast and loose with that sort of stuff, and I won't tolerate it or be a part of it.
Yeah.
So
You're extra careful. Sometimes you don't even like to chamber around.
Yeah,
when you're hunting,
there's been a time that
Didn't you do that again?
No. Oh yeah. Well, I was like 300 yards into the woods, and I looked at Matt and I'm like, I didn't load my gun. Good thing it didn't go down.
Oh man.
Yeah. Yeah, still, even though with medication, ADHD still runs rampant through my veins.
When did you get prescribed meds, and how did that like affect things for you with hunting?
I don't think it affected things for me hunting wise.
You don't think so?
No, because like that.
No, I remember you were well before that. You were still hunting.
Yeah, I still had. I mean, it's a drive. It's just the ability to like stay on one thing.
Yeah.
Like for me, I'm like unmedicated. Like I'm scrambled eggs.
I know.
Yeah.
I didn't know, but now I know.
Matt was there one morning.
It's like something's different.
Yeah.
As Rod is holding onto the tree stand, he's like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't feel so good.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd still hunt. It's just not. I don't think it affects my drive to hunt or my ability to hunt or anything like that. It's just like.
No, I don't think it did really.
And I think that it's more for me. It's like my work life. Like, I'm trapped at a desk all day, like surrounded by screens. Like that's my job, and if there's no chance, like, brother, there's no chance. But like hunting wise, like, I mean, there are often days where I skip my meds, and it's when I'm hunting because like that's where one of the blessings, I guess, of ADHD that they say is like you have an ability to hyperfocus, and like I'm.
Oh yeah.
Brett knows about that.
Yeah.
Like I get sucked into things like in an ugly way a lot of times.
Yeah.
There's rat holes that.
Tell everybody what you were doing that day that we had a slow day during rut week. You found like an app on your phone.
Oh, yeah, flight tracker. So I knew about the app, the flight tracker app, but I had never downloaded it. And we were, just grinding it out rut week. And every single plane that went by, I was like, okay, where's that thing going?
You're in a good spot because you could see a lot of sky too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
we were on the edge of the
perfect.
cut,
Yeah.
like very close to the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
Like
And
we had a lot of visibility.
And we were like right on some flyway for somewhere.
Yeah, there's
because,
a flight path.
Yeah.
For sure. It was pretty slick, and I don't know. I like planes. Planes are cool.
Yeah, it was.
Well, it's not all bad though.
No.
Because like,
I was impressed.
some of
With what?
Just like your ability to hyper focus.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's actually like a kind of a superpower too. No, it is. No, it is. Like it really is.
I just have to. It's a superpower, but it can be also like
Sure, I know.
super the other way.
Yeah, but well, it's
Like
like
super
kinda,
unproductive.
Yeah, but the thing is people that are really good at things they always have stuff like that.
Yeah.
They're like really
I'm
good at
not
one thing
super
and
good at
really bad at
anything.
anything else. Well, I think you get really good at certain things for a period of time until
For
you
a period
forget
of
it.
time,
Right?
I think that's
Yeah.
the ticket.
Yeah.
Is like I get super dialed in, like with the reloading, with deer
Right.
hunting,
Yeah,
like whatever it might be. Like what I'm doing is what I'm doing.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
How's your thumb, by the way? Speaking of new hobbies.
Oh, from my snow gun.
Yeah, tell that story.
Well, did you know
Yeah.
about that? Oh,
Yeah, you
so
told me
guys,
about
I got into making snow this winter. I know it's gonna,
Like a ski mountain making snow,
Yeah.
but not at a ski mountain in his backyard.
yeah, my backyard.
For context.
Yeah,
Because
so
some people are like, what are they? What's he talking
I
about?
wanted to make a snow gun because I wanted to make snow. I thought it'd
In
be
the
cool.
winter when there's plenty of snow.
Well, no, hold on. So, January was like snowless for us. I'm in the snow removal industry, and I wanted my kids to be able to sled. It was super cold here. We had no snow whatsoever. So I was like, I want to make a snow gun. I want to be able to make snow. So I did true to form. I went down a rabbit hole and I made a snow gun. Made a bunch of snow. It was super cool. And the one issue is I forgot that pressure washers, which is a key component of it, right? Pressure washer, air compressor. You guys can Google it. I put my thumb in front of one of the nozzles.
Why?
Well, there was another nozzle higher up in the chain that was clogged up or frozen. I thought it was just frozen, and I was like, oh, I'll just cover it. That will revert the pressure up to the upper nozzle.
Or through your finger.
It went through it just like bored a hole through my thumb. Like, it was some of the worst pain that I've felt, and I've broken a lot of bones and wound up with some stitches and
How many
occasions.
PSI you think it was?
Oh, I can tell you exactly how
How
many.
many?
It was 90 PSI
Okay.
coming out of one and then 4,000 out of the other.
Oh my
Good thing the
God.
4,000 didn't hit you.
Yeah, no, I was
Did that-
I was plugging the bottom nozzle, thankfully.
How far did that go through your finger?
Like the bone.
Like to the bone, and then
Yeah,
the bone stopped it probably.
I
More or
I
less.
think what stopped it is me going, ow!
Immediately like,
And take-
oh, bad decision.
Dude, as soon as
I shouldn't have done that.
as soon as I put my thumb to it, I was like, that doesn't feel like it was piercing pain like I've
Yeah.
never felt. Like I felt it in my teeth and it was in my thumb.
It's like when you touch the hot pan type
Yeah,
of thing.
it was worse than a hot.
Yeah, but
I've
the
grabbed
whole- the
I've
concept,
grabbed
though.
many a hot pan.
I'm sure looking back, you didn't think that was like, oh, yeah, I'm surprised that there was enough pressure there to hurt my thumb. You're
Yeah.
like, duh.
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
no, it was like instantly like you are so stupid, infinitely stupid. Yeah, but I made a bunch of snow and that was cool. I wound up like
I think
shutting
we were,
everything off and melted it out and then started up again.
I think we were together. I think we were in Ohio when that happened.
The snow thing or the thumb?
The thumb.
Oh, maybe.
You probably were. Now that
I think we got a phone call from you, and you're like, I messed up
yeah,
with with a lot more words.
yeah. I burned a hole in my thumb. That was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
So
It's
did,
all better now. Look, I have 2 thumbs still, so that's cool. Still a primate
Yeah, I got two as well.
temporarily.
So then you started seriously deer hunting. Probably that first year you
It was-
killed that good one,
Well,
the Ohio year.
so
Was it?
we went out one more time
Okay.
that
What
that
was
fall.
that? When was that? I don't know. Remember that one?
It was top of the world.
Okay.
After I filmed you, we went out one more time. We went out 2 more times. We went out 2 more times. I wound up killing that 1.5 years.
Oh, dude, I forgot about that.
Yeah. So
I forgot.
That
I
was
forgot about that.
That was super cool.
Holy
that
crap,
for me,
dude.
That for me was like,
Yeah.
took things from like an 8 to a 13.
Yeah.
Was that with a gun or a bow?
It was with a rifle.
I can't even believe. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Literally haven't thought about that
So
for
that
years
was
and years and years.
That was like the point where like the deer dander allergy really set in for me. And
Where's that footage? I filmed that, didn't I?
I don't know. There's a mini DVR probably stashed somewhere in
I
this
filmed.
house.
Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah,
though, right?
I rested the rifle on your leg.
Oh,
and,
did you?
and it was going like this because Brett was
Oh
like,
yeah, I was too, for sure. Yeah.
shaking. Like he was more wound up than I was, and like that wound me up, and that was super cool. So I shot that deer, and that was like, for me, I was like, okay, I'm in. And then I think that winter, that would have been 2011.
Yes.
I
killed. I remember. You're talking about filming when I killed that buck and you didn't come, but I remember I shot that buck, and then after I remember you were like looking at that, well, like that thing's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you had shot that before.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Because
but I
you
think
asked
we were
me to come film.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
And I
but
was
you
like,
didn't.
I can't because I had work thing.
Right. What? Yeah.
And so I was like, I gotta do I gotta work.
Yep.
And that's kind of been the running theme. If Ross can't go film, Brett's gonna kill.
Yeah, that's
like
pretty
there's
common.
how many deer now? There's
It's
at least
happened a few
3 or
times.
4.
It's happened a few times.
There's at least 3.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, both of those two.
Yep. Those
I think
two.
maybe that one.
That one. That's 3.
Yeah,
Mountain Man.
There's probably another one in there somewhere. Well, I don't know if you were gonna film me for that one, but
I wasn't for that
yeah,
one.
I don't think
You bailed out of work early. I remember that. We were living together.
Did I? Yeah.
Yeah, you were like, I'm going in for Brock.
Oh yeah, I shot him on the. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you went from like 0 to 100.
Oh, yeah.
In a very short
Oh, yeah.
span.
Yeah.
And then you killed a really good deer really quick.
Yeah. First year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, things true to nature. Like, I went 0 to 100. It was like, I shot that 1.5 years old. I got bit, and like, I bought a bow, and all Brett and I did was shoot from that point on.
And then you're chasing.
Well, then it was
Pope and
like
young deer in Ohio.
Well, Brett was like,
Yeah.
"Do you want to go in on a lease with me?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't see any good reason not to." And like that's when Brett and I were actually living together.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, like I'm in."
Makes sense, right?
Yeah. Like if I'm gonna do this, we're gonna do this all the way. We're gonna overdo it. So, yeah, I wound up passing quite a few deer that. I mean, I know other people would shoot because another guy shot one of them.
That's right.
And it's just, I don't know.
Did you pass that? You passed him in the morning.
I
right?
passed him my second morning of that rut week. But the first morning I ever went to Ohio, the first morning we ever hunted in Ohio, we had like.
That was crazy.
We had like a 136 or 140 and a 160. And the 160 was like 30 yards.
Dude, that was crazy.
30 yards on my weak side. Like, if I handed my bow to Brett, he could have aced him.
Oh, I could have shot him. That was like the first, it was like the first weekend of the season. It was like right around October 1st.
No, I can tell you exactly when it
Really?
was. It was Columbus Day weekend of 2012.
Okay. So it would have been a little later then, maybe like the 10th or something.
Yep.
Okay. I know it was like
It was
earlier in
Columbus Day
October.
weekend because both you and I were like, we got a 3-day weekend. We're going to buzz out there.
Yeah.
We're going to leave.
And it wasn't like a great
Thursday
time of
night.
year.
No.
Yeah.
The weather was marginal at best.
But that morning was like pretty good and high pressure, and we hiked up on this ridge. I remember this; it was crazy.
Insane.
Remember, dude. It was a really good morning. Did we rattle that buck or grunt him?
No, grunted him.
Yeah, I remember we looked up down the ridge.
I tried to grunt. I couldn't do it, and Brett yelled at me and told me to give him the grunt tube. And I was like, "Yeah."
Oh, really?
I was like, "Yeah, do it." I have no idea what I'm
That deer
doing.
is a freaking stud. What was he? He was like
He
was tall and narrow, right?
Tall, narrow,
and heavy.
But
and he had a drop tine.
But his beams came like way.
There's footage of that too somewhere.
Yeah.
Where the hell's that footage? We gotta find this stuff. I forgot all about this.
Dude,
that was 2012. So there's footage of that deer.
You're my handler.
That
You're
thing
supposed to have that stuff.
I remember that thing was like at 100, and he marched all the way into like 40.
Well, they came up. So I'm sitting like this. In your perspective, they would have come up the ridge like this. We saw them at like 60. They came out. We grunted, and then they came on. Came the bigger one of the two. Came on a rope.
That was a big
to 30, and
he looked like Strawman, but bigger. Oh yeah, he had a drop tine too. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was tall, tight, and
heavy.
just heavy. He was.
I forgot about that one too.
Like that was the solidifying
Dude,
moment
you were
for me.
Freaking like I remember you were like.
That moment for me is something that I've had a lot of amazing moments in deer hunting where like I've been so incredibly rattled that like I don't do drugs because of this. Because they can't be better than this. And if they are, I can't handle that. like that's
True
where
story.
I'm at. Like I can't like this is almost too much for me. And like in the moment when it comes time to execute the shot, like I can settle down, I can make it happen. But like the after, if it gets better than that, I don't even want it.
Dude, that thing took 2 more steps and it was dead.
Yeah, quite literally.
It was behind a tree. I remember in that cut.
It was on my weak side. So like if I drew my bow, I would have had to do some Cirque du Soleil stuff to come around the tree and kill him.
That was wild.
I
thought you were gonna kill him.
I did too.
Because remember? Okay, so he was like there, and then we grunted. And like grunted again, and then he just like flicked his tail and pinned his ears and just like death marched, like right to us. And I was like, "Oh my god, he's about to kill this freaking giant!" And it's like first buck.
But like
not
that,
first buck, but first bow buck.
That for me though, like solidified. Like you stick to the plan, you execute it, and things are gonna happen. Like it may not exactly happen, but you're gonna be really close or have the chance, and that like. That's why I had no issue deviating from like I'm not going to kill, even though I've never killed a buck with a bow. Like 2 weeks prior, I killed a doe with my bow, like my first bow deer. And that was incredible. So, and I wounded one before that.
My shoulder shoot one?
Yeah. Like high back
in the
strap.
same spot, right?
Same stand. Same stand, same deal. And like I was actually mad when that deer started coming down because she was walking like a buck, and I couldn't like see antlers. So I was just like, I'm just not gonna shoot this deer.
Yeah.
Like I was like disgruntled because like I'm not, even though like it would have been most people and totally fine with it if that's what you want to shoot. That wasn't what I was there for. Like I was either gonna kill a doe or I was gonna kill a mature deer. Like that's. Like 0 to 100 again, right?
Yeah.
So, but she came down and I was like, holy cow, like there's no antlers. And I shot her. But that moment for me with that big deer was like, okay, I can wait. I don't, like just killing a deer to kill a deer isn't what I'm here to do. Like I've done that. I've accomplished that. That's hard for a lot of people. It was hard for me at first, and it can still be very challenging, but like in that moment I was like, I'm waiting.
Yeah.
So
and then probably a month later, right, you killed what do you remember the date? It was like
it was like
first week in November. I know that.
I want to say it was like November 5. I don't know.
Was it
I'd
after I killed that
way
deer?
Back to Facebook.
Was it after I killed? Because it was 2012, right? No. Yeah.
Yeah, it was 2012.
Do you remember if it was after I killed?
Yes, it was.
It was, okay. So I
You
killed that
deer
on the
first.
2nd, I think, or something like that. 1st or 2nd of November.
Yeah.
And you were just a few days later, I remember.
Yeah.
It was on the same trip.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, didn't we have a picture of both bucks in the back of the truck, I think? I think we did, like, packed up, and we had
We did, back
two
before you
big-ass
had to
8-pointers
debone
in the
And,
I think, yeah,
I think there was a doe in the mix, too, at one point.
probably.
I don't know. We used to drive back with, like, the truck bed full
What
of
year was that?
Tree stands, coolers, like it looked like Mount Rushmore of like just junk. And then there would be like deer legs and antlers sticking up out of the truck bed, and like people would drive by and either like give us a thumbs up and honk or be like grilling us like, "Oh, you dirty fellas."
I remember so
that was November 8th is when I posted this picture. So
I feel like it was before that.
It would have been like the 5th or 6th.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because we
Of
didn't
2012.
we didn't have service then.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That's true. We didn't have service
Look how
there.
young and scarecrowish I look.
Let me see.
We'll have to show the picture. Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Oh yeah. That
was
beard
sweet.
was weak.
How many years do you guys do the lease thing down there?
That was the
That was the first one.
Right.
yeah.
I'd say
Because
Till
were you like, at some point, did you start doing New Hampshire both
we always hunted New
We
Hampshire,
always hunted New
but
Hampshire.
to the
but
same?
the difference
Not to the
well so
Not to the same
the
extent.
shift was we stopped hunting the rut in the Midwest, Ohio, and started hunting it in New Hampshire because we just kept realizing it's like we do the same shit every year. We'd scout in New Hampshire, spend all this time, and then we'd leave or burn our time.
that's what it was, is we
Yeah.
were burning our time off.
You were limited. Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
And
in
so
that
it's like
aspect.
we can get a week
Yeah,
and like be fine, and we do that, and then it was like okay, and
yeah.
with the sunrise sunset with daylight
Right.
savings, we'd
No
be
more
hosed, and
evenings.
it was like okay, we're stuck to weekends
Right.
now.
And then we started realizing that
like
a little bit later in
And
the
looking-
month in New Hampshire it was like dynamite. Like, so we said, hey,
Wild.
like let's start hunting the rut at home. And so then we shifted because I mean I still like to be, if I'm gonna hunt the Midwest during the rut, I like that first week in November. If you're hunting like Ohio or Indiana, Illinois, Kentucky. I haven't hunted Illinois, so I shouldn't say that. But I assume all the states around it is the same thing. But Iowa, like if you're in those states, yeah, I think that first week is probably when you want to be out there. So that's when we always used to go. Like somewhere around that November 1st would head out, and maybe it was the 3rd or the Halloween, whatever. And then we'd be back and would have, by the 10th, our vacation time was burned. And then would be getting pictures, and it's like starting to notice. It's
well,
like
we
there's
wouldn't be
something
getting
going
pictures. We'd be checking our cameras,
right?
and be like, oh,
Not getting. Well,
we missed it.
Yeah, the pictures were on the
Like,
card. We didn't know until
we-
after the fact.
We'd be like marching up there with our laptops and our backpacks because like we couldn't check them with cell
and I
phones
think
at the time.
and now though it's like because they're on your phone. Well, some of them come to your phone. I feel like it's way faster to relate that like, oh, this is a good period or something's going down. Obviously, because you get the images, but even looking at them after and trying to analyze them, I feel like it doesn't hit the same as when you get them right when
No.
it's going on.
No.
Like it's the same information, but if you at the end of the season you're looking at it, it's just
It doesn't.
interpret
It
it
doesn't
differently.
click.
No, it doesn't
because
click
you're
the
like,
same way.
okay, wow, daylight picture of a buck,
Yeah.
mature buck. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't like, okay, it's going down.
Yeah.
Like it's go time.
So
like,
it took a while for that to click,
Yeah.
and for us to realize that. And I think that was, 16. No.
Yeah.
So yeah. So we leased in. That was the first year, right? In 12. I think
Yeah,
it was
12.
12, 13.
12 was the first year.
We definitely did. 14 we did.
Yeah.
15. So it was like 4 years probably. And
Yeah.
then 16 was 6 years the first year we didn't. I remember that because I didn't
Yeah.
have any of the farms.
Those
Because I
are-
went there, I went to Jared's
You went
late,
late.
and I just hunted whatever. Like
Right.
it was 4 years, 12. And I had hunted in that area from 09, 10, 11, the 3 years before that as well. So those 4 years we were going pretty hard. I was telling somebody, I don't know, it might have been on this podcast, but I think in one calendar year we drove out to Ohio 12 times.
Yep.
Like
There was.
we were like living in
There was one.
We went hard, like really hard.
Like there was one year I remember that it was like, okay, it didn't happen early season.
Yeah.
It didn't happen Columbus Day weekend. It didn't happen Rut Week.
Yeah.
We said goodbye to our families on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Like the night before Thanksgiving, we just turned and burned and left and spent Thanksgiving and that long weekend hunting out there. And then we went out again like 2-3 more times. Like it was,
and
we were just
there
like
was,
grinding.
Well, and it was like shed hunt, and then it was like summer food plots / cameras, and that. Yeah, dude,
just
it was
quite
like
literally like.
we were planting food plots out there, like legit planting food plots on a tractor, like not like
Where'd you get the tractor?
My buddy Jared had it. He would bring it down sometimes, and sometimes I would just take it.
Yeah.
Or,
we were legit
we'd
like
be running the 4-wheeler with the drag behind it that we put in the bed of the truck, and I don't know how it made it to Ohio with the way Brett drives, but like, we were just like, straight up grinding our dicks into the dirt, like it was
into
like
the Ohio clay.
There's no better way to put it, but like, and I mean, I'd still do it. But I'd be divorced and I couldn't afford it because I'd be paying child support and all that. But like, so.
But we used to work all week and then leave after 3-4 o'clock on a Friday. Get there at 4 o'clock on a Saturday, and then if it was in the off season, we'd get up at.
We wouldn't even.
We were in really sleep.
Wouldn't
like we'd
You may have.
Yeah, for like an hour. Yeah,
like
we'd get
I just
up and
stay
we'd
up.
just like hammer from like dark to dark.
Yeah,
and then
we'd
go
sleep
to sleep
one night, and then we'd wake up, grind the whole next day.
Yeah.
Get in the truck and drive home
After a day of work.
Yeah, and
12 hours.
Like
and
it would be like work all day Friday.
Yep.
Drive
Saturday.
all.
Well,
no,
work
work
home,
all day Friday at
Yeah.
home in the office or in the field.
New Hampshire.
In New Hampshire, we drive all night on Friday into Saturday.
Yeah.
We jump right into like doing field work, camera work, whatever we were doing. We'd sleep one night, work all day Sunday in the field doing deer stuff.
Like all day.
All day.
And then when it got dark, we'd just pack the
sweaty. We'd have everything like
I
packed,
remember, like-
ready to go. Get in the truck.
Yeah.
Drive home.
Yeah.
Nonstop. Nobody I mean, you maybe
never
would
stopped.
sleep like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
We'd stop for fuel
That
and
was
like
it.
maybe take a fuel pump with us. But like
That happened.
that was one time.
Happens.
I'm still gonna pin that blame on you. But and then like get home at 4 or 5 a.m.
And then let's go to work.
and then go to work all day on
Take
Monday.
a shower and go to work. Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't even shower. I was late. I was late.
No, but we did that like not just
lot.
once. Like we did it
a
for like
lot.
2 or
Like
3
we
years.
do that on hunting trips.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
and like you want to talk about like decision making and like just mental capacity and coherence. Like we were pushing it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I bet.
I could still do it. I'll do it tomorrow. You want to go?
I don't think a lot of people are.
Well, Matt and I did we drive through the night to Ohio?
Well, you did. I slept
Yeah.
a lot.
So
It's because you're not cut from
it wasn't.
the same
Well,
cloth.
It wasn't
I-
quite like that.
I was
but it
driving
was-
back.
It could have been.
I was
if we
riding
had
back from
hunted
Ohio.
the first day. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was riding back from Ohio because I hunted with my family the late
right,
muzzleloader season.
Right. Did you kill one out there?
I didn't, but my
You let me down.
Yeah, sorry.
You told me you were gonna.
I screwed up on two.
Well, it sucks to suck, doesn't it?
I was at the bottom of the ridge, saw one the first day go up to the top. So the next day I'm like, oh, I got to go up to the top. And then I had a really nice deer walk the bottom. But regardless,
No, let's
Yeah.
dwell on that for a minute. I want to rub a little bit of salt into the wound.
I have a picture of it if you want to see because it walked up to the.
You show me after. We'll
Okay.
take that offline.
Okay. But yeah, I was riding back from Ohio. Get a text from Brad. He's like, "What are the chances you want to go back?"
He's like, well, I'm still in Ohio. I'm like, all right, well, you're going back.
Like-
Second.
Like tomorrow, I slept in my bed and then I was home for like 20 hours.
And then, so you got to sleep on the way.
Yeah,
So that's
You slept most of the way.
So
I
that's
feel like.
hold on.
I'm trying to think.
So
back.
that's why he made you carry all the corn up the hill.
I think
No, he didn't. He didn't. He didn't carry it up the hill. He carried it actually down to. It was.
So you made him carry it.
He only
still.
carried it like 40 yards.
Oh yeah, only.
Yeah.
It was more than 40.
50.
I know.
It wasn't that far.
I know. I have the video
It was
saved
like
on my phone that says yes, the asshole
It's not
made me
100.
carry
Yeah, I
it.
remember that. No, it wasn't 100 yards.
I don't
was
know.
right at the top.
When I had to run before the snow machine was gonna blow up.
That's because it was uphill and
It
there was
seemed pretty
briars.
far.
It was either gonna blow up or run me over.
Did I tell you that? No.
No, you probably intentionally left that out.
No, we left the thing running while we were setting everything up.
Oh, and it got
And then,
hot.
I'm thinking to myself, and I didn't think of this. I thought it was going to be fast. In your mind, it's going to be fast.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
This is so typical Brett.
All right, go ahead.
Mechanical things.
Yeah, I know.
And Brett
At least I thought of it.
go sideways
So
every time.
I'm sitting up. So this is
Hold
funny
on.
though.
My logic.
You should. It escalated extremely quickly. I'm
No
sitting
kidding.
there, and I'm in the tree, and Matt's below me, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like setting the stand, and I'm like, oh, shit. I'm like, that machine's been running for a long time, way longer than I thought it was gonna be quick, and we're up there for like half an hour.
Yeah, cutting
Oh, no
branches.
kidding.
Oh yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh yeah.
Something,
and
something
something in my head, I went
brain.
like, oh, that machine is gonna. I'm like, Matt. I'm like, go cut that engine. No sooner than I said it, it's like, zzzz, and I'm like, and he doesn't hear it, I don't think. and then 2 seconds later, I'm like, Matt, now. He's like, what? I'm like, it went from me just realizing on my own to hearing that and be like, oh no, go now, Matt. We're not going to get this thing off the ridge. I remember I barked at him. I'm like, right now. We're going to be dragging it. But
That's
my
like
tone must have changed. Like, because at first it was like, oh, we should shut that. Yeah, Matt, go. And it was like, Matt, shut it off
Yeah.
now.
And that was like right where the deer were going to be walking
Oh,
from
yeah.
Right.
too. They were like bedding out on this point, and it was right in the way.
Yeah.
We were going to have to like push the thing down the hill if.
Oh, we would have. We would have.
Yeah.
Oh, you would have?
Oh, yeah.
You would have pushed it out?
Oh, we would've
Just like
got
the
it out of there.
four-wheeler that you ran out of fuel for me?
Which one? Oh, that was
Oh,
perfect.
no, that was
That was
fine. Yeah,
perfect.
no, we only had to walk
That was
forever.
downhill. We just rode
Yeah.
it.
No, we didn't.
Rolled in.
No. Brett and
If
fuel
you want to
gauges.
screw with him, be like, oh, shit, we're about to run out of gas. Ross gets real uneasy.
Brett lives his life on the edge. And I don't understand it.
What was that reserve tank thing, right?
Yeah, but
Can
there
never
isn't
quite
one.
figure that out.
Brett got a new four-wheeler. The old one had a reserve
I
tank.
think
So
that-
did this one.
was
So,
it?
so does this one.
No, I know that.
Shut your mouth. Hold on.
But I think it was the old one that ran out.
No, it wasn't. It was the green one.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah. And he's like, "Oh no, we'll be fine." And, I don't know why it won't start. And I'm like, "Well,
That was after we hunted, right?
no, it was on the way in. Like it died on the way in.
We just ditched it and walked.
We ditched it.
It ain't got no gas in it.
Yeah, well, exactly, brother. So like we had to walk. And here's the worst part of it is it's like this is like the stand that like I don't ever
Oh, yeah, it is
hunt
that stand.
for a very particular reason is it sucks to get
No,
up in
it's
there.
a great stand.
Like
It
I'm
just sucks to get in there.
like it is a great stand. It sucks to get in there. And it's a forever to get in there stand. And that day,
Even with the four-wheeler.
hold on. Yeah. Even with the four-wheeler. And so, like, that day, it was like, okay, it's going to, like, tempo's going to plummet right, like, an hour before sunset. Like, all the things were lining up. Like, it was a killing day, so, like, I was on board. But it was hot before that. Like, in order for the temp to drop, it has to be warm, right? So it was like 70 on our way in.
Yeah.
And the four-wheeler died prematurely. And then we had to walk like, I don't know, 2 miles
Yeah, for sure.
at a minimum.
Especially
Up
without
into
the
that
four-wheeler.
stand, like to the point that like I was literally hiking in my
Did we see
boxers.
anything?
No. No, so like I'm like carrying the camera gear and like we weren't
Is that
like
when we had the big blue pack? Or was
I
that
don't
after?
know. It was
We had
after.
graduated
It was
from that?
after, but we weren't as light and as
Yeah.
nimble as we are now.
Yeah.
So like I had the camera gear and I had a stand.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you sure there? I
I'm
thought there was
pretty sure I had a
up
stand.
there.
No, we did have a camera stand that one. But like regardless, like I had all the camera
Yeah.
gear and then it was like I'm expecting it to be cold, so like I had extra stuff in my pack and I was literally at one point I said, "Brett, we got to stop.
Oh, I do remember this.
I'm
now.
so sweaty, like I'm done." And I literally hiked up in like a paper thin merino leg base layer
That's what you got to do.
and that was it.
And then Ross
And my
never
boots.
hiked up a mountain after that.
No, I still do. I still did.
Oh,
So
why
I
you're
mean,
the
I saw
swamp reaper.
I saw those skinny legs this fall.
oh yeah. He got to see me in those tight paper thin, like tissue paper thin merino base layers.
Yeah. You have to though.
It's crazy how much
There's no
lighter
other
our
way to
stuff has
do
got. Think about how much lighter from like the
Dude.
Remember the hang and hunt days with the the muddy blood sports and the muddy sticks
And the camera
and
arm.
that muddy arm and the
Dude, brother.
camera.
Brother, if
What do you
you
think?
told
What do you
me
think it all weighed together? That
180 pounds,
No, it wasn't. It wasn't that far. Dude, those stands are still heavy. Those stands are not like
they're like 13 pounds.
yeah, or 15.
13
or
to
15 pounds. Two of them.
The muddy arm.
Which
was-
I don't think you even seen.
You,
It was the old
no,
one.
oh god,
It was a boat
It
anchor.
was like cast iron. Like
Yeah.
it was. It was.
It was that thing
it
was
a son of a bitch.
That thing was close to 10 pounds. The arm and the
At a
Yeah.
dude, the
And then the fluid
angle,
head.
the angle bracket on
Yeah.
its own was
thing
10
was-
pounds. The
And we had
arm
this big
itself was
camera.
probably another 8. Like we were just, you may as well
Dude, it
have
was
just
brutal.
filled our backpacks with window weights, like the old school window weights. That you know what a window weight is? You know what that is? Okay. So with like 8 or 10 of those, and then like 4 of them in our hands,
Yeah, we used to
And
walk
say-
in like that.
go up there, and that's what we used to do.
Yeah.
And it like,
Dude, that's
it's
crazy.
a good goddamn thing. I wasn't as smart as I am now.
How about that time in Ohio you forgot your arrows?
Yeah, God. So this is just gonna be
That's
like.
remember that crazy shit we were
So
doing
this
then
is
though?
this is gonna
Remember
be
what
like.
we were
hold
doing?
on, just stop for a second.
Kentucky to Ohio,
Just stop.
Kentucky.
Just stop.
too many wheel spins.
I don't
in
even blame
Ross's
you
head
for
right
that
now.
one. I don't even blame you for that one.
So we.
We're so smoked.
So this is just going to be like hunting stories with Ross and Brett. That's what this episode is turned into. But yeah, so there was one year that we were hunting Kentucky and Ohio, and we
Yeah.
were like chasing the hot spot.
We were.
And
We were
like,
just like, yeah, we'll just hunt whatever's best.
so how far was it from
4 hours.
It was 4.
Yeah.
That's it. I thought it was like 5 or 6.
It's 4, but
Because I
Think-
remember
I don't
like
know, I'll look.
I remember leaving at like, but I guess it takes us a minute to like get down and like do all that. Not
Well,
getting to
okay.
Joe's until midnight.
that's some. Well, yeah. I mean, you get down, you pack up, you go,
Yeah, I guess.
and you've
'cause
hunted
sunset,
dark to dark. We sat all
Yeah.
day, all those days.
every single day. We went back and forth from Kentucky to Ohio, like Louisville to like
Yeah.
where we hunt in Ohio. It's like 5 or 6 hours, or
I'll tell you
four
how it-
4 to 5
'cause
hours. He's
I think
about to
it's
tell us. Yeah, I won't
go ahead.
exaggerate. I
Continue-
won't
continue
do the
on with your
woman
story.
thing. And every single night, it was like, it's happening here. So we'd leave. We'd drive to Kentucky. And then it was not happening there. So then we drive back. And it was just that way.
4.5.
Yeah, so 4.5 hours.
Yeah.
So we're like living out of Brett's like back seat in his truck. And
We had places to stay in each one, but it was like kind of pointless because we'd like unpack and then pack it up and leave.
yeah,
it was
and I'm
just
sleeping
silliness.
like I slept on an air mattress that would deflate by like 35 minutes into me laying down, but it didn't matter. I was so dog tired that like I just crash out, and like there was one morning. Well, there were a couple. That was a trip.
That was towards the end, I think.
No, it was like
Which
third morning, the arrows thing.
Yeah.
Third morning, I forgot my arrows in the truck, and we had to like hike in, and like our access was like basically like a big U-turn to get back to get into the stand, and like Jake.
Yeah, we wanted to.
Jake killed it.
We had to. Yeah,
right.
Was that the year?
And that's why it was hot, and like there was a hot doe in there, and I'm not discrediting that, but like how long was that walk?
It was pretty long. Like from where our access on that farm to like the stand was actually not far at all.
No,
it was
if
probably
you drew
like
a straight line,
300 yards.
300.
But we couldn't. That was like
most.
all the deer habitat, so we didn't want to like go in that way. So we like walked all the way up the road to the edge of the property, walked all the way. That would have been
up the far edge.
Like the north edge. We headed west, like almost, and then we cut back again. And then it was like this big thing to get.
How far was that?
Oh, at least a mile, maybe a mile and a half.
Yeah, it was a long walk. I get into the tree. We get into the tree. I help Brett get the camera on set up. No.
Didn't we though drive from Kentucky that morning?
Yeah.
We woke up at like.
Yeah, we woke up
at like 2 a.m.
1 or 2,
and so we just driven from Kentucky to Ohio, so we arrive at Hunt.
Because it was go time, and we're like, okay, we're gonna get 4 hours of sleep.
Yeah,
and then we're gonna turn and burn. Like it was a grand idea at the time. So like we get into the stand. I help Brett get the camera arm set up, and like I'm like, okay, it's go time. We can film. I can put an arrow in my shit. I left my quiver. Because like the way that my bow was, like I couldn't like in all of our stuff in the back of his truck. Like if I put it there, all my arrows would have been like cockeyed, or my fletching's been bitched up. Like, so I took my quiver off and like set it behind the headrest on the back seat, up against that back window. Mm. Yeah, they were still there. So that was pretty unfortunate.
Mile and a half away from the stand.
I ran.
Dude, I was freaking shocked when I saw you coming back with him. Like, how? Dude, he was gone for like 14 minutes.
I
was like, what? I was just like completely flabbergasted that he was. I was like,
brother,
what did you do? I couldn't believe it.
I was running.
It took us like 35 minutes to walk in there, just going nice and slow.
Because like we're sneaking, and I'm like, you know what? We may as well get it, and I ran like 2 4-minute miles back to back, like
through the hills of Ohio.
It was
steep.
It was steep, and I remember getting to the truck and go, "Oh, I don't feel good." I grabbed my bottle of water out of the passenger door. I like took 3 gulps. I set it down. I grabbed my arrows, and I just ran back. And I got I was sweatier than the son of a gun. Like, yeah, if. That's probably why we didn't see anything, because I was so sweaty and stunk like to high heaven.
It was a rut. Who knows?
Either way,
that was wild.
Then there was.
I wouldn't recommend that style that we did. That was insane.
I was just thinking
this is why. This is like, and that's a perfect like caveat to like why we do what we do now is like, you just sit there because it's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's. Like, you guys have some really cool stories, and I'm sure have a lot of really cool experiences because of that.
We don't.
But
no, they're pretty.
But like, it's just
tragic.
It's not sustainable to do that.
Heck no.
Like,
I'd be dead now.
Like one
if I kept that up.
Doing like back-to-back days, like all day sit with like no sleep in between. Doing that like one day, okay, you can kind of get over it. But like once you start stacking those days together, you go downhill really fast, and then eventually you just like fall off a cliff.
Right. Oh, and
was that the same year that we had the deer
with K2?
Yeah, that was the same year, right?
And then,
when was that? Was that early too?
That was like towards the tail end. Because like we were trying to kill 2 different deer in Kentucky.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, it's going down in Kentucky, so we did,
It was so crazy.
After like 4 or 5 of those back and forths, we got back there, and we're like, okay, we got to hang and hunt here on this part of the farm because that's where it's going down. We did the hang and hunt. Well, we were going in to hang and hunt,
What did we forget?
We forgot
more stuff.
We're using. Well, yeah.
We were smoked.
Thank you
we
for
were smoked.
Thank you for saying we, because up until this moment, it's been Ross forgot.
Okay, well, looking back at what we were doing,
Yeah.
that was stuff was gonna happen. That was,
dude.
I remember even the people like Joe and like Jared were like, "What are you guys doing? Like, what are you doing? You guys are insane."
The landowners were just like blown away by how dumb we are.
You needed like a checklist to like staple to the tape to the dashboard. To be like every time
that wouldn't have even helped. I'm telling you, we were so cooked that there's no way that it would have even helped.
Yeah.
So we're like 3/4 of the way in.
Luckily, this was not a long. It was flat.
This was like
easy.
a 500-yard walk,
Yeah.
like on flat Kentucky ground. Thank goodness. We were like 20 yards into the wood line. Brett looks at me. We were using the Muddy Vantage at that point.
Oh, is that what you forgot?
Yeah, what we forgot.
I forgot.
What we
I don't
forgot.
know.
What
Yeah.
we forgot.
Sure.
This is a collective.
Yeah, at this point.
Okay? We've gotten over that. You said that. We forgot things earlier, and I'm not going to let that go. So, and he looks at me and he goes, "You got the bracket?" I'm like, "You got the stand."
Is that how it went down?
I'm like, "Why would I have the bracket?"
Is that how it went down?
Yeah.
I don't remember it all. I just remember we forgot something.
Yeah. And I'm like flabbergasted that he's even asking me that I forgot the bracket. I'm like, "Are you going to pin that blame on me right now, dude?" So, like,
maybe that's why I said we for this subconsciously.
Yeah.
I know it was,
You're like, hold on,
me.
he's gonna remember details because of his animal brain. So, like, I was just like, no, what? I guess I did. And then I pinned the blame on myself, and I ran back to the truck.
You were too tired to realize that it wasn't your fault.
And so, like, I just ran back to the truck, grabbed the bracket for the Vantage stand.
You had gotten
for the
good
camera.
at that by now.
Yeah, I was like peak physical shape, like, dude, 4-minute miles.
What
like,
were
I
we
was
even eating?
What?
What were we even eating then?
What?
We weren't eating?
I don't know.
I don't remember any food.
Like, I remember drinking like bottles of water and eating dry granola out of like sandwich bags,
that checks out.
and maybe a bag of almonds
We
to
definitely
share.
ate Monsters.
A sandwich.
For sure, Monsters.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of Monsters.
Sandwich bags of almonds
Yeah, there you
that
go.
like we'd split between the two of us
No
in an
pro-
all-day sit. Like, we'd get legitimately like, this is what you would die. You would die.
It sounds terrible.
Like 4 sandwich guy. So listen, I'd be like, "Brett, pack the food if I'm filming you." And
That's what he'd pack.
Brett would fill a sandwich bag of dry
That's the only
quick
thing.
oats,
I still do that. So.
dry
Not
quick
the
oats,
but
and a sandwich bag full of almonds. And that was it.
No pepperoni and goldfish, huh?
No, dude.
No.
He wasn't living large.
was that the year? Was that the year you killed? No, that was the year.
I didn't kill.
What year was that we're doing that craziness?
I don't know. Anyway, we get in the stand, and then K2 walks by at 7 steps.
And you yelled at him.
And I went, dude,
He ran away.
I went.
So terrible.
I
This buck is a beauty, and
I
he's
drew
walking
my
right at
bow.
us, like right at us. And he gets to
Get
7 yards.
No, he walks right at us, turns, starts walking down the trail.
Broadside.
I draw my bow. I go, like, quiet as can be. Like, I consciously thought, be quiet. He's really close. And that thing, and as soon as he stopped, he like kind of like reared back, and my pin was like low for like the shot angle that I had. And like, I always try and take a second after that first doe that I ever shot at with a bow to like realize, like, take that extra second, make the shot count. So I like came up, and as soon as I came up behind his shoulder blade, that thing peeled out of there like I've never seen.
Dude, that
like,
was sick.
It was like a millisecond of like, and he was gone, and I was like,
That was so sickening. Oh, I was so sick.
yeah.
I
So then
remember
we
that.
switched, and then it was like, hey, Brett, you can try and kill the other buck that's way bigger.
Yeah,
And then
wasn't
he
there.
shot a doe,
I did shoot a doe.
and it died in the field.
With your bow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
That thing was busting us anyway.
Oh yeah.
So the junk buck was not that year.
No.
Did we even kill anything that year?
No.
I don't think we did.
No.
Well, what year was that?
Brother, I don't know.
14. What year did you kill the junk buck?
I think that might have been 13. Because that's when we were filming for Midwest Whitetail.
Yeah, we were 13.
And like the first year was that
12.
12 was.
So you had already killed the junk buck when we were doing the crazy back and forth. Then it sounds like.
Yeah.
Man, those years blur together.
Remember
Remember that big one? I think you had. It was like dark, and that big freaking deer came in on us. Oh my
I would love
God,
to not.
Dude. That was so dumb.
If we could not.
I wish you. That was so dumb, dude.
Brett's like
Brought that memory up. Reaches right for the drink.
That might have been that week.
I don't even want to drink it.
No.
Like that's how much
Would
that
it have
stings.
been that week? I don't think it was that week.
I don't know. We
was-
had that double drop time that was like a 2 or 3 year old walked by.
Yep.
And then we went
That
up.
was a different
we went up
day,
on top.
though, but yeah.
That was the first day in there.
Yeah.
And we're in the game. We had this like 2 or 3 year old double drop that walked by us, and it was
That was
like
a beauty.
I had no issue not shooting it because he was young. And then later that week, we get up into the stand, and this buck comes crashing in after that doe.
Like
and Brett,
first light.
it was legal. I could have killed it. And Brett goes,
Dude, he stopped in your lane
He
at like 25 yards.
25 yards, just.
I just remember his white ass, big, massive rack. I don't remember what he was.
He was thick.
It was a big deer. It was a big deer. Like
heavy.
150 or bigger.
Yeah.
Maybe 160. Who knows?
And
It
I
a big
was
deer.
like, Brett, are you on it? He's like, I don't have enough camera light. And I didn't even draw my bow.
we just didn't shoot him.
How does that make you feel?
That's so dumb.
I probably would have shot him.
So dumb. Well, it's
At the time, like, we were taking what.
Oh,
not
yeah,
that
I
we
mean, that
still
would-
don't, but like.
well, but now there's no such thing as an camera light because we run cameras where you
right,
can
but like even
film.
even then, like we can like the way we film now.
We can
like,
make something from that, even if the footage
It's
isn't-
like
yeah.
still
Yeah.
like real life hunting,
Yeah.
and people get it. But
Yeah.
at the time, like we were still living and dying by like
The shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
actual
Yeah.
kill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was just a different time, and I remember like we were filming for Midwest Whitetail for it. So like it was like if you don't get the kill on film, like
Yeah.
and it was just like
Well,
it was a
remember-
big thing, and like we're very disciplined dudes, so like it not meeting the mark was unacceptable. Whereas like plenty of
Yeah.
other people deviated from that.
yeah.
And would kill bucks off film, and like that was like as far as we could tell, or saw in our our animal brain.
Our underslept brains.
Yeah, was like if you kill a buck off film, like that was like part of the contract, like that was like a big deal. So like we were taking things
Right.
extremely seriously.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, you don't have camera light, I'm not even gonna shoot it. And
Remember that deer?
I'd
on,
prefer not to.
Well, this wasn't you.
Okay, thank God.
With the muzzleloader late season and the snow that I had that was walking along the ridge for like 20 minutes or however long. Like I'm on one side of the ridge.
Yep.
Actually, it was right where I killed this buck. Same ridge. And that was a big deer. That was a 150 plus inch deer, maybe 160. And he's just like walking on this opposite ridge, and I'm on him with the muzzleloader. And he's like 100 yards, but he was on one face and we're on another. Those Ohio ridges, right? So we're like looking at him, and I'm on him. I'm like, okay, I got him there. Ross is like, I don't have him in the camera. I'm like, all right. I was like, I got him. I'm like, I can't see him. Dude, the whole ridge it went like that.
We went
for like
back
10 or
and-
15 minutes. It was ridiculous.
I don't even think it was. I think it was longer than that.
It was
like it was
got
probably
dark.
half
It got
an
dark.
hour.
It got dark.
Yeah.
And I never shot at him. He just got dark, and the
God.
shooting light ended.
And
I mean, I had literally like 155, 160 inch deer just like standing on a hillside in the snow in a muzzleloader at 100 yards, and I'm
it
just
wasn't
like,
that
I
big.
dialed.
It was maybe like 120. But
I wonder if I can find a picture of him.
No, it
was
was that big.
So we did some shit like that I just looking back. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal, but
Matt has questions on his phone, and I've seen him like open it.
Is that what you're
several
trying to get
times.
to? Questions?
Well, no, I just had a text.
There he is, right there.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly how I remember him to be.
Like you see, see what I'm saying? Like he's just right there, and he just kept walking through like that. I'll send it to you, Matt. Actually, we have footage of that.
Yeah.
We do actually have that footage. John has it.
Cool.
I've watched.
Yeah,
I've watched Brett like slam his bow on a bow hanger.
When did I do that?
In the Buck Bowl.
just same situation. Like, just can't get the kill shot.
Just couldn't get it right.
What happened on that one? I know that I had a quartering too. He was working a rub, and I didn't want to take that.
Yep.
Which nowadays I would have, but back then I was shooting like a 330 grain arrow, like a paperweight arrow,
110 grain arrow with a 100 grain head.
Yeah, 100 grain expandable.
Yeah, it was ugly, and I wouldn't have taken that shot either.
So then, but then what happened? We got him broadside. Was it you didn't? I didn't have him, or you didn't have him?
Both. I didn't have him. Then you had him. I didn't have him. You had him, and then it switched.
So I could have shot the deer.
Yeah. You could have killed him. But like I had deer. I had the deer, but no vitals.
That's what it was. And I did. And I could see his, so we'd pass shit like that. Oh, we don't have his vitals. Like, the deer was in the frame, but, like, you could see his head and his butt, but you couldn't see his vitals. So, like, I didn't shoot.
You couldn't see
That's what we used to, like, it was craziness. Imagine that now. Like, well, you can't do that around here because that's your only opportunity of the year.
Yeah,
I mean,
literally.
You can't do that.
I don't know. There's this guy named Jamin that,
oh, my God.
Him and I almost had it out, but luckily.
No, he got it.
He got it.
Barely.
Where is
it?
it?
Gone.
Where is it?
Yeah, where's the It's
Look down the barrel of my gun.
The open swale swamp, the one sunspot with the giant rack right in the middle of it. That's where he is.
It's tough though. I'll give Jamin credit.
No, it can't.
That like in the heat of the moment, like, and Matt can attest to this, that like
you get one opportunity to get it right.
It's tough, man. Filming is probably I am more on edge and more like dialed in when I'm filming than I am hunting. And I get more rattled filming than I do hunting because it's like, this is the moment, like, I can't be the reason that he doesn't kill something.
Right.
Like,
I remember, I'm trying to think of, like, did I film you kill a deer in that swamp or not? I don't know if I ever did. I don't think so. But I just remember, like,
Bailey, Chris, and Jamin.
Oh, yeah.
Because Jake had to leave.
No, who filmed?
Jake had to leave the day.
Who filmed?
Like, the morning of or whatever.
Oh, Chris.
Yeah.
Chris filmed
Curly. Chris filmed Curly.
Yeah, that's right. Fucking Chris. I remember he was like, I don't see him, but I know he's in there somewhere, so yep, I'm on him.
Was it a shooter?
Yeah, that's what he said right as he pulls it. Was it a shooter? It's like, what do you mean? I just shot him.
Well, that's why my gun went off.
That's not always the case, but
there have been a few questionable moments, and like that's the part that, like, I don't know. I guess there's an acceptable tolerance.
Oh, it's hard. It's freaking hard. Like, to get on those, I mean, and there's a lot of pressure too. Oh, tracking's like, forget it, dude.
Yeah.
That
was an outlier this year, what you guys were able to do.
Yeah. I saw an antler, and I was, I mean, what other deer was it going to be in my brain? Like, I only saw one deer. We were tracking one deer. I saw antler. I confirmed it was a legal deer, and I shot it.
Yeah.
And then I thought it was a doe because it was so small.
Well, there was two deer. There was two deer because we had seen this. We had bumped a spike.
Right, earlier.
Yeah, and then those two like went together across the road.
But that spike peeled off.
Did it?
Yes.
Oh, and then he went down on that bottom and met back up with them. Okay.
Yep. Because I pulled up on that spike and said no. because he was in an open
You
enough
could have had
area.
a shorter day if you just had shot him.
It wouldn't have been that
Same
much
result.
shorter.
Oh, no.
Not that much shorter. We were down in the swamp, and we made it to where I killed
Yeah.
him. Like, that was maybe an hour.
Yeah, it wasn't long.
No.
That was a killing day for sure.
It was.
Yeah, filming's hard.
Filming.
It's like, for me, it definitely, I don't know, when I'm always like worrying about, trying to think like, you got to think steps ahead, right? About making sure you get.
Not 1, 10.
Right, because there's only one opportunity to get the thing, and you're like, okay, well, in order to get that, I need to be ready for it to happen. So.
Meanwhile, you're eating 4 sandwiches in a row.
Oh, I worked those in there. Yeah, I scheduled those in there.
I'll tell you what, though. I'm giving you a hard time now, but, like, truthfully, you were, like, on it every single time that it mattered. You were on it. And it, like, I'm thinking about the 2 coyotes. Like, the first one, sure, like, you saw it first.
Right.
So, like, you were already, like, in the game. The second one, that was, like, holy shit, I don't know how you pulled that off, dude. Like, and, like, got it focused and, like, on it.
I don't remember what lens I was using. Probably the 300, but regardless.
Either way, like, I was, like, when you said, yup, I'm on it, I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, I was blown away. Because,
you know
like,
who's done that to me is Cody with turkeys. Sometimes I'm like, there's like a turkey, like Cody's like here.
Yeah.
And the turkey's like there. And I'm like, oh, bird coming to the left. Here he comes. And I'm like, not even
he's
in
like,
I'm
game
on him.
yet.
I'm like, how you want him? I don't like it. I'm like, okay, bang. And I'm like, and he's like,
yeah.
fucking like looking at the screen like
How
upside down and like
where's the 9-pointer? That was my finest cameraman.
that was
moment.
Amazing.
I was
there
hanging off the tree with one leg against the base of the tree, like where the fork is, or I don't even know. Like hanging.
You
out.
had your hand. Yes, this was the tree stand.
I was
on the tree.
I was
Legit.
holding the tree like this.
Yeah.
Out. It was blowing like
20
30.
miles. Oh yeah. Well,
like
yeah.
20 or 30.
Probably 20
like,
down there. But
the tree was swinging.
It was so windy that
like
we
a
hunted
bitch.
in this ravine because it was so windy, and we figured that was the only place.
It was the only
safely
safe
hunt.
place
Yeah.
we could hunt.
Legit.
Yeah.
And like I was hanging out over Brett's shoulder, and we had the what's it called? The
Varizoom.
The Varizoom
On the
on the.
That
on
was
the
when we had the
handle.
big
That's
for the
What was
camcorder.
it? The
Big camera.
ES1.
EX, yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
EX1, I think.
I don't know. Either way, and like, I like had to take my hand off of where it was, rack the focus, and I said, "You're good." He drew his bow
And I
elbowed the camera, dude. And I was like, "Oh no!" I was like, "Wait!" And
You
like
push it out even more.
while it's blowing and the stand shifts off the base,
yeah.
like
yeah.
that V.
And mind you, the tree is going like this. Like you can see it in the footage. The footage is
and
like
the
this.
GoPro footage is wild.
Oh yeah.
Wild.
Just you scrambling. And
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
And I,
arms
like,
flying everywhere.
I had to like grab the camera again by the focus ring and like reset it to where it was. I said, "Okay, you're good." And he dimed
Nailed
it.
it.
Right
Nailed
after.
it.
That was like right after he missed me.
I did.
But, like,
Shot
that's
right over the same freaking spot, dude. Missed
the
shot
exact
right over.
same spot.
That was wild. That was like 12:30 in the afternoon too.
That was a
Yeah.
day.
Remember the? I won't blame you for this either because you had just driven from Iowa.
Oh yeah.
But remember before that, the buck we're after the whole year. We drove. I killed
First morning.
that deer in Iowa. And I'm not going to give you shit. You didn't
No.
even hunt that trip, and you filmed me in 2 states. But I shoot that buck. We took a day-ish, not long. We didn't hang around.
We killed it that night.
was like-
we did like trophy photos
Yeah.
the next day.
And then we left that next night. I think.
Interviews, and we left.
And then he drove most
I
of the way
drove
from Iowa
I drove straight through.
to Ohio. We got there in time to hunt. And then there was this buck I was after all year, called him Dutch. And we got down and we get in the stand.
It was
And he's like,
it was a bullshit stand too.
Yeah,
like it was
looking
like
it
was just a mother effort to get into.
It was tough,
like,
and it was hard to hunt out of.
It sucked.
It was in a good spot, but it was just
it was in the spot, clearly,
tough.
because we saw the deer, but like it just sucked.
And I look over, it's like first light. We just get there, and that deer's like coming at us. And I'm like, Ross, dodge, and like nothing. Ross, dodge, like nothing. And I'm just like, what's going on? And I'm like, is he on? I'm like, are you on him? It's like nothing. And I'm like, what's going on? And then like he starts to get nervous because we're in this bottom and the thermals are still dropping because it's like first thing in the morning. And then he just gets like super shitty and just like trots up off the ridge. And I'm like, I like turn around the trees.
No, I woke up when he was in the bottom and all I could see was the steam coming out of his nostrils, and he looks up at us. And then he got shitty and peeled up off the ridge, and I was like,
oh my.
I was like, why is he? Oh, you're asleep. I was like, oh.
But later in that morning, Brett was like, Ross, there's deer. So I'm like waking up again for the second time. But at this point, like, I don't know if I was like in some like deep REM state, REM sleep, that like I could not open my eyes. And like looking at this like daylight outside was like, dude, I was jacked up. And he's like, they're standing right there.
I remember this.
He's like, they're right there, 30 yards behind me. And he's like madder than a swarm of hornets because I already messed up the Dutch situation. And I just could not open my eyes or even figure out how the camera existed. Like, I was so jacked up. And
then I missed him a few days later.
The next day.
Well, I killed. Was it the next day?
It was the next day.
Because I killed him on the 7th.
We slept in because I was so jacked up.
No, I think it was further down. I think it was because I think I killed that deer on the 12th. I think I missed him on the 12th too. Well, I know it was the same day. I killed him on the 7th, so the 8th we would have drove.
Right.
So the 9th is when you screwed up. I think it was like 3 days later.
You think it was? We didn't spend that long there. No
Sure?
way. No
Could we
way
have
I
been
would
hunting
have
a different-
tolerated that.
I feel like it was the 12th.
And then I missed that
Maybe I
three-legged
can
doe.
look back and see.
When you film, do you feel like it takes you away from being like present in the hunt itself a little bit?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
I've had that experience kind of where I'm so like worried, not worried, but just like focused on what I need to do that the experience, it's not necessarily good or bad. It's just different. And I guess, in my opinion,
I mean, I think it's different because I put a lot more pressure on myself in that moment. I mean, I haven't had to film anybody in 2 years now, I think.
Yeah.
And that's mostly because of my work obligations and stuff like that. Like, I really haven't hunted nearly as much as I used to. But as a general, no. I think I'm more engaged in the hunt when I'm filming because I don't know.
Got something to do.
Well, it's not only that like, hey, I have to film the B-roll. I have to make sure that like I'm capturing today and like, because every day is different, right? And like that's the hardest part. And like Brett and I explain this to you. We've explained this to every other camera guy that we've had. Is like, it doesn't matter. You have to like capture that stuff every single day. So like,
you sit for a week every day, and
every single day I'm doing the same exact shots every single day.
Yeah.
But like, sure, there's some variation to it. Like, okay, I see a pileated woodpecker today. Like, cool. I'm still trying to film birds. I'm trying to film grass moving. Like, I think I'm almost more engaged when I'm behind the camera than I am in front of the gun or bow, whatever it might be.
I think
interesting.
I see
to hear that
I see
perspective.
that But I think to your point, I think when I actually film an encounter with an animal, I feel like I agree. Like I feel like I'm not as you're there, but I feel like you're like you're there on the screen.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I know what you mean on in that regard. But to your point, like throughout the day, yeah, you feel more. Well, you know what the other thing is, when you're filming, and you're talking about how engaged you are, you have to like you're looking for things to tell the story visually. So you're looking for those things that otherwise you wouldn't be looking for. You're like, oh, what the hell can I film? Like
that's
like what is? You're like, look at what looks cool. What is the descriptor of like the area we're in? You're like trying to look for something.
It's weird.
Sometimes it's hard.
It's weird because like I enjoy hunting and killings. Like I don't enjoy killing, but I enjoy the hunt and I enjoy my time hunting. But like, I don't know why, but like I always revert back to the bear hunt that I filmed Henry.
Yep.
Kill that one. And it was like, that to me is like, honestly, one of my most fond memories is filming Henry kill that bear. Like, because that was like from soup to nuts. Like he was greener than green as far as like being on the in front of a lens. So like being like, hey, now walk by the camera, do this, do that, and like capturing the B-roll. And then like I had never been on a successful bear hunt. So like maybe that adds a factor of like cool level or like memory for
also,
me.
you were probably filming stuff that you hadn't filmed before, and you were filming it from a green perspective. Like, what stands out to me? Because when you go on a deer hunt and you've hunted for 20 years, like it's all kind of like, yeah, I know what's gonna. I mean, you know exactly what's gonna happen, but you know.
Long. Oh, I've hunted.
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
13 years. I'm really good at math.
Okay, whatever. That wasn't specific to you, Ross.
No, I know.
But sure.
I'm teasing.
If you deer hunted for 13 years. Yeah, so I think it's different. It's different.
The other part of it, too, I guess, it's different. I guess I'll say that. Because when I'm hunting, like, I'm so worried about the details and, like, I sweat without even having clothes on, and it can be 8 or 10 degrees out.
I told Matt, remember in the Ohio video, we're walking in, and what was my heart rate? Dude, we were creeping, and it was like cold, and I was like, we were creeping.
It was like 150 or something.
150, and I'm just like standing there in the cold, and my heart's like, do.
He's like,
dude,
he's like, this is the most anxious I ever get.
Oh.
Yeah, it
gives me such anxiety walking on the stand, getting ready.
Like
once you're set, you're like,
yeah, that is the moment that like everything's okay, but everything leading up to from the moment I wake up, or I'm like parking the truck if it's like an evening hunt.
It's probably like, where's Brett? Why isn't he here?
Well, yeah, primarily. And I was late tonight, and this is why we're here.
Well, it's different, but go ahead.
Of course it's different. So
he let it go. That's pretty good.
Yeah. I've been working on this. I've been working with my therapist on that, like letting things go. But no, like really walking into the stand, like I think you got to experience it this fall. I mean, I've been able to handle the level of anxiety that I get walking into the tree better now, but it's still like I'm late.
It's brutal.
I touched something I shouldn't have. I did something wrong. What did I forget?
Yeah.
What am I going to fuck up now?
Pump going in.
And that's just like,
where are my arrows?
It is just a recycling show the whole time.
The one thing that I think, the two things I've done to help is I'm trying to leave earlier and earlier.
Oh.
Like leave to go.
Yeah.
Earlier and earlier. Because it's almost like impossibly early, but then you seem to like always be set up at shooting light somehow. It seems like however much time you give yourself, you're always like set up. For me at least.
Yeah.
Well, I think I also go
Matt,
slow.
Like the first time you and I hunted the swamp, I think we sat in the dark for like 45 minutes.
Yeah. See, I never feel like I'm ever. I feel
like
we get in the tree and I'm like looking at the stars.
But see, that's where that comes from. Is like, if I'm not early, I'm late, and if I'm on time, I'm so beyond late that I can't function. And like I took Mick duck hunting, my son duck hunting, for the first time this year, and like, granted, the day we went was not the first day that he probably should have experienced duck hunting, because it was like 8 degrees out and the boat was frozen to the trailer. Like, it was a show. But like, we were set up and like tucked in at legal, and my gun wasn't loaded. And I thought I was living a nightmare. Like, it was exactly like my worst nightmare. Like, I'm not early, I'm not prepared, things aren't dialed in, and I'm not 100%. So, I don't know. That was a long way around from your question of...
Well, it's just wanting to be, being super anal about having stuff.
If things aren't...
Having stuff in a row, making sure everything's right.
If my bag isn't packed correctly, if like I can't
being as efficient as possible, and
if every single movement that I do from the moment that like I stop in the truck, 4-wheeler, or the hike or whatever isn't as exact or timed out to the moment that I need it to be, I start sweating.
Yeah.
Like, I slipped and fell one day when I was filming Brett. Like, the easiest walk-in, it's flat on a logging road. Like, the easiest thing that anyone could ever imagine. I slipped and I fell. Like, climbing up this little, like, ditch up to the tree. I was soaked in sweat. From like the anxiety and anger that I had because I felt in that moment that I had failed and I wasn't prepared and I wasn't doing exactly what I needed to do.
Or if you drop something or bang something.
Forget it.
Oh, dude, I get so mad. I'm the same way. I'm the same.
Forget
way.
Like
it's gonna happen.
But here's the weird part.
I haven't had any
though.
major ones yet.
No, but like the weird part is like I can wash away, like, mentally, I can wash away something that like you do. Like, say you drop something out of the tree.
Yeah.
I mean,
harder on yourself than you are on other people, right?
Yeah. Because I'm like, dude, mistakes happen. That's okay.
Yeah.
We can move on from that. It's not great. I don't love it, and I'm still not happy about it. But I didn't do that, and I can control what I can control.
Yeah.
I cannot control your hands that operate like feet. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I think a lot of people struggle with that.
I can only control what I can control.
Like, if you talk to yourself the way you would say it to somebody else who did it,
you never would have filmed me for a week. You never could have.
Right.
Like, that would be, and I never in a million years would have expected you to tolerate that, like, level of criticism and, like, level of expectation that, like, I put on myself.
Who do you think, what camera guy I think we were the hardest on?
Chris.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Like, was there any question of that? Like, the kid walked around like a pear and was sweaty. Like, but like,
hammered him so hard.
There was nobody that was more eager and had the eye for it than him, and that's the reason that I put up with his shenanigans and lack of preparation.
Oh my God! Remember we didn't bring the camera the one time. Thought you had the cameras. What?
The morning I killed Curly.
Oh yeah.
He got out of Brett's truck. He rode with Brett's truck, and he was in Brett's truck, and he like got out, and like Brett like threw his like typical Brett fashion, like just like kind of like throw stuff out of the truck, and was like, get out, and Brett's like doing his own anxiety sprint in the truck.
Yep.
You know, he's living in his own craziness. And Brett gets, like, he gets up there, and, like, I'm early. I'm dressed. I have all my bag packed, organized, all my stuff's in order. I'm ready to go. And, like, Chris is, like, scrambling, like, putting on his sloppy boots and, like, figuring out how his tree stand harness works again for the third time in a row. And he goes...
Cotton socks.
Yeah, in his cotton socks. And
Cotton underwear.
And his, like...
Wait, did you do the cotton underwear?
No.
And
Who
his,
was it?
and
There was
his,
someone else
and
that
his
did it too.
white and his white T-shirt under everything, and I'm like, and he looks at me, he goes, "Where's the camera bag?" You're gonna have to beep this out, but I looked at him and I said, "What the f*** do you mean?" And like, this was when I was like operating at like 18. Like, I've chilled out now, and like I'm trying to enjoy the hunt more, but like I was ready to kill him. And he goes, "What do you mean?" And I said, "No, Chris, what do you mean?" "What do you mean? Where's the camera bag? You're the camera guy. You're responsible for the camera. Where's the camera bag? You don't ask me that question." He goes,
I thought you had it.
"I thought you had it."
Didn't you come bombing up in the truck?
Dude,
To where I was parked?
I peeled my boots off. I took my pants off. I took all of my outer, I drove up there in my merino base layer and no shirt up to where Brett was parked at camp. And I hopped out of the truck. I said, "Where is the camera bag?" And Brett's like,
Whoa.
"Chris doesn't have it?" Like, you got this,
I
like,
thought Chris was filming you.
you got like Ichabod Crane, like scarecrow son of a gun, like 3/4 naked, hops out of the truck with no shoes or socks on, and it's just like, "Where is it?" It's like, what do you expect? Where is it? Like I would have been just as shocked as you were, and I'm like, "Give me the camera gear." And I took the bag, I stuck it in the back of in the bed of my truck. I drove back down, and I said, "Chris, tighten up." Like, I was so mad, but I tell you what, he did an amazing job after the fact. Like, from that moment on, he didn't bring any snacks, which I still ridicule him for. But he did a great job. He nailed the footage, and yeah, he's going to complain that he's hungry. It's fine. It's good for him to starve him, and that's why I keep his snacks in my bag. I thought about doing that to you, I'm not going to lie. I'd be like, "Oh, no worries. I got extra room in my pack." Like, I would have left a layer out just to starve you. I'm not a control freak, but that's okay. And so, anyway, he did a great job, and like, he executed what he needed to do, and that was cool.
I think nailing the footage, filming the whole story is one thing, but the kill and the animal footage.
That moment.
That's hard, man.
You can't make that up.
No, you can't get it back.
Ask me.
I think. Well, I know. I think that's harder than shooting them. Personally, like, if
10 out of 10.
You said like, I feel way more confident about killing the deer or the turkey than having the exposure and the framing and the focus right on a kill. Like, that's way harder.
It's just so much more natural to be like, "Oh, okay, I see a deer right there. I'm going to raise up the whatever weapon I've got, and I'm going to execute the shot." You don't have to, like, there's not these 6 other things you're having to worry about.
It's like, okay, is my exposure right? Is it framed right? Yeah. Should it be? It's going to be more to this side of the frame.
Oh, and I forgot to turn the GoPro on. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, shit, yeah. Or, you get the situation where it's walking in and out of the shadows, like it's under a hemlock, and then it comes out and it's in the sun,
it's like,
and you're like screwing with
exposure and focus. Oh, God, yeah.
I'll say right now, I had a hard time filming turkeys so far this year. Like, it's just...
You should try filming sea ducks.
Oh, God.
I can't do it.
You can't film sea ducks. Well, you can.
I don't know.
I can't.
I'll have to try it.
Dude, it's hard.
It's just like so many turkey scenarios. It's not like a deer hunt where it's like
No.
a controlled environment. You're in the tree,
No.
everything's locked in.
Yeah.
It's just
No.
like bird just gobbled right there. Find a tree, sit down, get yourself situated, and then like it's gonna be here in 45 seconds.
Maybe.
Because we just called and it's coming.
Yeah.
So it's like
That's why Cody, I'm telling you, like some of the stuff he's gone on,
Yeah.
like, what? Like you're on him? I'm saying, are you on him? Like fully expecting, like no,
Not yet.
And he's like, yep. I'm like, well, okay. And then I shoot him like, you were on him? He's like, yeah. I watched footage. I'm like, I remember one John had. He literally, dude, was like, it was like behind him, and he had the camera. He pulled it off the tripod. He held it like this. He had the viewfinder like cocked, and it was like he was looking at there, and he like went like this and just like, and it was perfect. I was like,
And didn't flinch when it shot. When you
no,
shot.
he doesn't. He does a good job at that. I don't think many people flinch anymore. Who else? There was one bad flincher.
Tom.
Tom the flincher.
Sweaty Tom.
Sweaty Tom. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Check.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Good copy on that one.
I forgot about Sweaty Tom. No, there was some shot that someone flinched recently. It's tough sometimes,
I always
especially
go.
when you're going to shoot.
I always go like this. I'm good.
Yeah, but if sometimes you
I
can do
can't.
that.
If
Sometimes you can do that.
hand holding, I'm just like,
That's hard.
okay, I am a noodle. Like,
Yeah. Go
I'm
limp.
like, I think I am a spaghetti
Yeah.
in a boiling pot of water.
I'll absorb the vibration
Yeah,
before it gets to
I will not react to this. That's what I say to myself. I say, I am a spaghetti.
What's your plans this year? Do you have any plans yet? Are you going to like South Dakota or something?
Surviving.
Yeah. I know it's
Survival.
tough for you to.
Survival mode.
Yeah.
No, the plan is South Dakota this year.
Really? That'd be cool.
Early?
No, I think Chris wants to do the rut.
Oh,
so,
I remember him saying that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm looking forward to. I haven't traveled in
Probably
a
since
long
15.
time. Yeah.
What is
I mean, since being married, I don't know that I've really traveled at all.
what time frame is that there?
Like first week in November, second week.
I think that stuff's going to be really, really, really good.
I think it's going to be
time.
wild.
I think it's going to be really good.
I think I'm excited for it. I honestly, like at this point, like I'm just excited to get, like, it's not that I don't enjoy every part of my life, but like I have to say that as a disclaimer. I enjoy it. But no, it's just something to get away. Even like when we go to the mountain, like even spending 3 days to a week up there and like sleeping in the camper, like just being able to unplug from
Yeah, gets you out of the routine a little bit.
my day to day. Like I don't prioritize hunting as much as I should, in my opinion. At times, like I mean, family and work, that's what occupies 99% of my time, right? And I get like 10% of like, hey, I'm gonna make a snow gun, or I'm gonna like dive into reloading bullets, like, you know, like one of my rat holes. But truthfully, like those moments where I get to unplug, like it's different now than it was before, and I'm actually really, really looking forward to doing something like that.
I think that I was telling Chris, I think that's that time frame in that area.
It's
I
gonna
think
get
is
wild.
gonna there are so many good bucks.
Yeah.
In that area, like
I don't.
there's not. I mean, there is, but there's not a million like 170s.
Right.
There are 170s. Don't get me wrong. There are, but there's not a million. But like the amount of like 125 to 150 inch deer is just crazy. And you're going to be hunting spots where you are going to be able to encounter a bunch of them because they should be cruising, and those drainages and fingers are like dude, there's crazy funnels.
They can't not.
Crazy funnels. It's going to be, and you'll be able to see everything too. Like you'll be able to see like the whole draw. You'll be able to. It should be just like. I think it's going to be really good. And I don't think really many people are bow hunting them that time of year at all, like in that area. I think like when gun season, yeah, sure. But
I think that's a lot like Montana too. Like everybody like gun hunts.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, granted, like these past few years, it's been like I've only gun hunted because like our bow season, like I've really timing wise haven't been able to make it work to be like, okay, I've got a buck pattern. Like I have a good chance. And like, that's the other part of it is like I'm trying to maximize my time in the woods versus maximizing my time at home. Yeah. So it's like being able to do that and do it with a bow, like I'm excited because I really like shooting deer with a bow.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I prefer it for sure.
Okay, next question. Go.
That was it.
No, you had more questions.
I just had a vague guideline of things to talk about in case we couldn't think of anything to talk about.
Oh, no, we thought about plenty of things. You're talking to squirrel brain.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that goes on in there.
We just reminisced about, 15 years of hunting?
Yeah,
that stuff was like definitely where I learned how to like hunt hard, and I learned how to prioritize, like you are talking, time, because even though we had more time, we didn't have that much time. We still had to work.
Dude,
we still had to work.
I think about it now, and I'm like, we used to hunt almost every day after work before daylight savings.
I'm talking about with the traveling though.
Right, but
particular.
regardless,
yeah,
every day we'd be like,
a lot
local. Like in the evenings, I'd be bailing out of work.
Yeah.
So would you, and we'd be getting in a tree.
Yeah,
which was awesome, and like I thoroughly enjoyed.
We didn't kill
like
that much
no,
before
like,
the rut,
like our
but
time. I mean, our input to output was
not good.
Our ROI was hammered shit.
Not
like,
no. That's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying is we learned that's not. There's very few circumstances exactly,
and like,
and it's really unless you have all the time, it's just not even worth outside of those windows.
I don't have time, so it's like I may only hunt maybe 15 to 20 days of the year, but those 15 to 20 days are the days that you like absolutely have to be in
for
a tree.
Sure,
and so like like I told Matt, it's like I don't care if we grind all week, like during that rut window that we had, even though we had a bunch of unfortunate weather circumstances with wind and snow and stuff like that, or rain because of the camera gear, it just wasn't worth like being in the tree. So it's like those times that you learn to be like, that are your highest probability. It's like, okay, I save my time.
Yeah.
For those moments that like kitchen pass, I'm going.
Yeah. And you can almost be just as effective as you were back then.
I think,
you know what I mean?
I think you're more effective.
Yeah.
Because you're not leaving scent. You're not impeding you're not doing any of the things that you would otherwise be doing just to sit in a tree.
Right.
Which, granted, I love sitting in a tree as much as anybody at this point.
Yeah, it's just when you don't have the time to just sit in this tree to just sit in a tree,
or be able
might as well not do it.
Right, or not be able to justify the time away from the family. It's like, okay, like I have to be a dad and be present in whatever, or work obligations because you're, you have to work to survive these days. So I think ultimately that's what it comes down to, is being like, okay, what are those right days? And I'm going to maximize them by not deviating from the plan, sitting there and going.
But I guess my point is that all that time went from before.
Brett has to have the last word on this.
I just want to.
You want to tie a bow on it?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. You want to have the last word, is what you're saying.
You can have the last word.
No,
I don't want
it.
You made a really good point. My point is, for us to be able to get to the point where we recognize this and realize that there is a window.
We had to grind our dicks into the dirt.
Yes. To realize and to say, okay, we did this. Yeah. Hey, we can have this level of success if we just do these things and focus on these windows. Whereas, like, I don't know that a lot of people realize that.
No.
They just,
I mean,
that's what I mean. They're starting to, but.
We talk to a lot of people every single day, and it's like, how many days have you hunted this year?
Yeah.
I haven't.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
We're 30 days into the season. Yeah. Well, I haven't.
Yeah.
And,
that's what I'm saying.
And it's like, I don't,
realize.
like, I enjoy my time in the tree as much as any other guy or woman, not discriminating, but like ultimately, like I enjoy my time in the woods, the wilderness, like whatever it might be so much, but I have to prioritize that time. And like, if it's not worth me doing that, I'm not doing it.
Nope.
And you're going to ultimately, by sitting your Tuesday stand, right? Yeah. Your Monday or Tuesday stand, because we have to switch stands every time according to the day, right? Like, not saying that's right or wrong, but like,
but it's wrong.
But it's fucking wrong. Like, it's not helping you in your success overall.
Agree.
And that drives me absolutely mental. That's the one thing I will say, and I will be prejudiced towards.
Yeah.
All right, Ross got the last word.
That's it.
Is that it?
Do you want to wrap it up? It's wrapped.
How long has it been?
2.5.
2.5 hours.
Whoa,
we had your attention.
That was wild.
Medicated, unmedicated, doesn't matter.
Unmedicated, truthfully. I came in here being like ready to put the wild card. I put it in my back pocket. Hold on. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, thanks for watching, everybody. You got anything to say, Matt? That's it.
Hopefully you didn't like it.
We'll see you on the next one.